Welcome everybody back to the Rotation Show. We have a great show for you guys today. This is our 5th episode and we're very excited. We want everybody to really tune into this one because the people we have here are really, really big influences in the Sacramento area, and they're not as well known as they should be. And today we're gonna make everybody know. So they are the creators of the really, really popular and big brand Official and All Good. Official is a clothing line that's worldwide. Really, really influenced Calibis and our brand, and I'm sure a lot of others. The All Good Box will let them explain that because I'm still interested in it as well.
Oh yeah.
They are extremely embedded in the Sacramento culture and have been pivotal in pushing local organizations and events. And they have developed the world's first contactless payment vegan convenience store.
That is
which is
insane.
Dope.
Yeah.
Welcome, Jason and Vanessa.
Cool. Welcome, guys.
Welcome, guys. I'm sorry it was a long intro. As you can see,
that's awesome. We got a lot.
There's a lot you've done, and there's a lot you're doing.
I think people might be confused right at this point because there was so much there, but we appreciate the opportunity to be on here and share our story.
Yeah, we're excited. Yeah. I've been following your brand for a lot of years, plenty of years, probably 10 plus, and I'm one of you guys' fans, man.
Oh, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys make some dope ass products.
Cool.
I just got one of my side note. One of my partners, I got him a cool little satchel that has the UV light that disinfects everything.
Yeah.
Got that. I think it was pretty sweet.
Disinfecting on.
Yeah,
disinfecting done.
It's crazy. Yeah, that's so dope.
Yeah, that's innovative as shit.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Well, really, that kind of just came from. Well, last year it was a whirlwind, right?
Yeah.
And we're like, oh shit, we could make some small UV bags that actually are similar to what we already make. Let's do it as quick as we can, and we did it, and it was actually a really good success. But going back to we had a conversation about Facebook earlier. Facebook stops ads right away, no UV stuff.
They're starting,
right? UVs too. They stop.
Yeah. No UV stuff.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. They're just because they always have all these. Well, actually, it's kind of crazy. I think that even for when we were doing mask, the advertising, they would stop that. They'd go a week on, it'd be fine. If one looked too much like a medical mask, they would stop. They would kill all our ads. It was crazy. And we'd have ads that were performing 17x. So yeah, it was insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess we've never advertised our mask because
Now you'll be fine. It was more
just during
the
that time.
Beginning of the
They're trying to make sure that we're not selling
medical masks.
Medical masks.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
And claiming they'll stop COVID type.
Yeah, sure.
Got it.
Yeah. Because at the time there were all kinds of weird claims going on.
Things going out there.
A story. We actually released our first mask probably a year before COVID hit.
Yeah, same.
And the reason we did it was because we kept getting allergies when we were trimming weed. And it was and all the kids were getting into it with the bass drop type stuff and going to the EDCs.
Yeah.
But we honestly liked it for trimming.
That's really dope.
We get allergies crazy.
So, our mask story, I think we probably did around, we probably did 3 or 4 years before COVID, but we started to notice that they would sell every August, September, October because of fire season, right? So even in the stores, we'd be selling them, and then we had we had boxes of masks, but we did it from more kind of Asian style influence, a lot of fashion,
Right.
So
Japan's big in masks.
But we had boxes of 600, 1,200 masks just sitting in the warehouse. Since COVID happened, we started noticing they were ticking up. We put it on the front page and sold all of our masks out in 2 days, and we're oh shit.
So we had to get a really big minimum order for the masks, so we ended up doing it. So we were there with a lot, and we sold a good chunk. But honestly, to be honest, we had a lot left. And we're like, damn, I don't know if we're gonna move because our customer base is not really the EDCs type scene. So we weren't pushing too hard. But COVID hit. We were sold out in I think 2 weeks.
Yeah, amazing.
It was fast. It was really fast.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Did you guys just stop it, or do you produce more?
Oh, we produced a few more after that.
Yeah.
So it took a lot longer because everybody was
sure.
Now the fires. like
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
I
that.
will put one on just because.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we love it or hate it, I think masks are probably here to stay in society for a while.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
For a minute,
Yeah.
as long as these viruses keep transforming,
Yeah.
or how do they call it? They when they change variants.
Yeah, mutating.
Mutating.
Yeah.
Mutations.
Something.
Yeah, bunch of doctors sitting around a table.
Got my PhD.
Let's start from the beginning, man.
Yeah.
Where are you guys from? I want the origins.
Well, I'm
How did it
from
start?
Salinas, California.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
And then obviously Sacramento. I moved here when I was young, so Sacramento's is home
Yeah.
to me.
Nice.
Kind of same. I'm from Rhode Island, so way over on the other side. My mom's family is from here, so I started high school here in Sacramento.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did too.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
cool.
Where'd you go to
so,
high school?
I went to Mesa Verde.
Oh, nice.
I didn't
So
know
there's
that.
a ton about Mesa.
Yeah.
with
That's
someone
my
today.
rival right
Yeah.
there. I went to San Juan.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's
I
And
used
I
to go
graduated
skate the
Laguna
rails.
Creek High School.
Where'd you go?
Laguna Creek. I was in Elk Grove.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're south.
I was south.
Yeah.
Yeah.
South.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
are the north.
I haven't been by Mesa in a while. I'm sure it's changed, but it literally straight up looked like a prison when I
Oh
was
my
to
God.
school.
No,
Yeah.
didn't they,
Just
like,
cement
take it
with
down?
no windows and
At
yeah.
Mesa's
I think they
campus
redid
when
it.
I went was a lot nicer than San Juan's campus.
Yeah, San Juan's
So-
is old. That was- yeah.
They
Yeah.
had horse stalls still at our
Oh
house.
my
Oh my
gosh.
God.
Wow.
When you it was the things on the wall where they would wrap the leather.
No way.
You know what I mean? So,
That's amazing.
yeah.
Oh my
It wasn't
God.
old school.
That's yeah, for
That's
real.
old school. The oldest probably in the area. But it was an old school.
They've redone it since, right?
Yeah, and then they cut it. So they made it a continuation school.
No
or
way, it
something?
is.
Oh.
I
Right now it
think
is.
so,
Wow.
man.
Oh, that's a bummer.
There goes my
It's a
alma
bummer when
mater.
your high school
I
turns into
know.
a continuation.
I know. Jeez.
Well, I bet Mesa Verde.
Yeah.
Went,
No, it's not much better.
that sucks.
No. Yeah.
Oh, that's so
But yeah,
good.
so you went to school at Mesa,
Yeah.
and
And then lived here in Sacramento. Like I said, I have family in Rhode Island, so went back every year till I kind of ended up staying here.
right.
And yeah, I went through some college, went through UC Davis through print design and production, and quit in the middle of it. So
Nice.
yeah.
Well,
But
what
because I got a job and I needed to
money
pay the
calls,
bills.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
had a baby,
Had
so
Yeah.
That'll
Absolutely.
do it, dude.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And you continued to have babies
Yeah,
and
until,
babies.
But I'm
Yeah.
sure you didn't just quit. There was other things probably you felt you could do, or
Well, yeah, no, I went
things
straight
were
into
pulling at you, right? I'm
Yeah,
thinking?
no, I went straight. I went for graphic design, and I ended up working at a print shop, just doing volume graphic design work, and that got me into magazines.
Nice.
I started working for a local magazine in Sacramento called Heckler. It was a skate, snow, and music
Oh,
magazine.
nice.
Yeah, really cool. Sonny Mayugba was the founder,
Oh, yeah.
and so started working there, and then I started doing zines, just copy and paste. Go to Kinko's at night, and you could stick the key 3/4 of the way in and get free copies. And,
Oh
yeah, it was
my
like
God.
a block
That's
key.
dope.
I don't know if you remember.
Yeah,
those, but
I
it was
remember those. I
before
remember that.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
really cool. And just started printing zines, and then
What's zines compared to magazines?
Well, it's kind of it comes from a punk rock term, but it's just a Xerox magazine.
Oh, okay,
I mean,
okay.
You're
It's like a
cutting out
homemade
and-
magazine.
Yeah, homemade magazine.
Got you.
And there's a whole culture attached to it. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of like people will collect zines, and yeah, it's kind of a cool scene.
That's
Kind of
dope.
like the graffiti artists that do the "Hello, my name is" tags kind
yeah,
of deal.
Same deal. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. In fact, there's graffiti zines for sure. I mean, even back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just started learning about magazines and started doing our own zine, and we started a magazine called Vapors, and it was a skate, music, and art magazine, and we grew it from Xerox to international distribution, and it was an amazing ride. It was during a time that street art was just kind of coming.
What year was this?
Oh man, let's see. It was about 97 to 2005.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
but that's
Yeah,
about
it's
the
right
run
in
of
the
it.
thick of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. So I mean, we did I got to do so much fun stuff. Whether there was skate tours or literally graffiti tours through Europe and
Nice.
Wow.
yeah, I've been to Iceland through the magazine. Yeah, everywhere. I mean, it was a really
amazing.
cool. But really, most importantly, I built a network up with that through like a lot of clothing brands, trade shows, and I mean, just a big network.
The more you're out there, the more you met people.
Sure. Yeah. Cool. And you know, you're young, you have lots of energy, and your work becomes just everything, right? So you put a lot of time into it, and you can really kind of scale your influence or even your presence in the industry pretty well because you can put so much energy into it. Yeah.
It can almost burn you out sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, when you're young, you shouldn't. Then it can, and then you got to pump the brakes and figure out how to balance it.
Switch gears or shake it up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So that's I guess, I mean, if we're digging into we continue on.
Let's do it.
I'm
fascinated.
I love it.
So doing the magazine, we sold it to a publishing company called Over America Media Group. They had a magazine called BPM and a couple other like video magazines at the time. And I learned a lot from them. Like we started getting ads from like, I don't know, alcohol companies or like, even at the time, I think we had Camel, which is kind of strange. But yeah, big ads. And our
commissioning you guys for ads.
Oh yeah, we had like,
That's
I mean, we had
Camel?
Nike back cover annual for like 3 years in a row.
Oh, damn.
Adidas front side inside cover, you know. So awesome. Like we had good accounts, and that was good. I mean, we went from which is interesting, you know, Randall Paragary passed away this year, but I think he was, I think we had a Paragary's ad in our Xerox zine. I mean, it was one of our first advertisers. So yeah, kind of cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah. So but yeah, from local advertisers to good national contracts, and then we sold it to the publishing company. 2 years later, I was kind of over it. I was going to LA like every other week, and I'm still living here. So I was doing some freelance graphic design for a headwear company, and at one point, like the company couldn't pay for a season that I had done, or maybe they even, I mean, looking back, maybe they just didn't want it. I don't know what it was, but I was like, I can do this myself. I hadn't done any, I mean, we've maybe silk screened some shirts before, but I hadn't done any real production. So yeah, I just found a manufacturer here in California, started producing hats. And
what year was this?
2007.
2007.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's when Vanessa and I started talking and then dating and then living together and then spending the rest of our lives together. So she was pretty much there from like getting, you know, boxes delivered in the kitchen. Even this California manufacturer at the time, like this would never happen now, but I'm sure you remember like the trim was not done well on the hats, and we'd be just trimming like the embroidery eyelets and stuff. Oh man, it was crazy.
Cleaning up their job.
Yeah. So and if we go further into that, so yeah, we're doing California production. We do our first trade show, and I think we wrote like 165,000. It was in Las Vegas. That was a trade show called United. And we wrote 165,000, and I was like, oh man, this is amazing. And I think our biggest order from that trade show was from PacSun. It was 40,000. Wow. It was like only 2 styles of hats. And
you were only doing hats?
Yeah.
Only
No
hats.
accessories?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were only doing
only?
hats at the time.
Just
Our whole thing was like, look, at during that time, 2007, you could only buy like New Era starter, maybe a couple other brands. And it was all sports related stuff. Yeah. Actually, New Era was putting some energy into like streetwear. They were doing like DC hats or, stuff like that. But there was no like hat that didn't have anything to do with sports. And so we're like, oh, cool. We could do fitteds that don't have anything to do with sports. We can do snapbacks. We can do campers. So that was our value proposition. Was this doesn't have any,
that wasn't fully
hit yet. It wasn't there. So Pacific PacSun orders makes a nice order. We're paying $11 a hat right then, producing in California. I think their wholesale price was like $14.50, but really our cost on hats was like $17. I think when you factor it in, like the thing about California or American production is like, yeah, you can get the sewing done here, but like woven labels need to be done here. Printing, if you're doing printing, you have to print the fabric, then cut it, then like, or whatever. Everything's like done in different places. And so I had a friend, he's actually the creative director at Adidas Originals right now. His name's Barmack, and he was doing a brand called Siphon, which was an old like underground like hip hop streetwear brand. It's like, oh, you got to go to China, do China. Here's some information. So I went to China, got some samples. I stayed there for a week. got the sample. It looked good from the factory.
How were you like nervous to go across seas to China and like try to gain a big ass manufacturer?
I think I was so down. It was adventurous. Yeah,
that's
probably.
badass.
I mean, the magazine had to help, right? Traveling.
Yeah, we did a lot of traveling before, but I hadn't been to mainland China. And I was going like kind of deep. I went to a town called Qingdao for that particular factory. Yeah. It was and it was 2000, so it was 2007, so it was pretty early. But yeah, it was adventurous. I was totally down. It was fun. And
cool. That's cool. Did you have to have a translator with you?
No, like most of the factory people would speak English. Yeah. I mean, it was a little challenging, but yeah. I mean, okay. Well, we'll get further into it, but yeah. So
it gets good.
Anyways, samples look good. Go home. The pallets get to our garage. And that whole feeling, like open it up, make sure it's good, open up, and they're just crap. They don't even look like the samples. Like they totally took shortcuts. Wow. And like it was a $40,000 order. I think I'd already paid for the whole. Yeah, I had. Of course, it got delivered. Paid for the production. I was like, I got to ship this or not ship it. But we got to eat, so I shipped it and didn't get an order from PacSun for like 4 more years. Yeah, I'm sure that.
Did you ever find out if they sold those? Did they end up selling?
They probably sold so terrible. It was awful.
Yeah.
But
funny
though. Yeah, it was an L, but also it was like it was a lesson that like look but here's the other thing. The hat cost me, $3.50, or some could even. I mean, at that time you can get a hat down to $2, and it was pretty good quality.
Yeah.
As opposed to the $11 to $17, right? So I'm like, well, I got to learn how to do this. So then, I just spent like the next 5 years. I would go like once a month for 5 years, and it got so like I was there so much. I would time it so I'd get there like on a Wednesday and Saturday and play on the factory basketball team because they played other factories. And
no way.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah, resident.
Yeah.
No, I have a jersey. I have the jersey from the factory.
Were you the tallest one on the team?
Dude, this factory. In fact, I mean, there's some regions in China where they have obviously super tall people.
Yeah, for sure.
This factory, he took pride in his basketball team, and he would just like he would hire like warehouse dudes that were like 7 foot just so they'd be good on the basketball team. So it was fun because we were like on a good basketball team, just like balling against these other factory teams.
Imported American. My big Chinese teams.
Yeah.
Next time they never answer me back, if they don't answer me on WhatsApp, I'm just gonna imagine them playing a basketball game against each other. I'm like, damn, they're just hooping right now.
The crazy part is your commitment to that team. Holy shit, you committed. You live here, but you committed to a China basketball recreational basketball team.
It was pretty amazing.
A lot of time.
Did you guys at least make your own jerseys?
No, they had a factory jersey. And I have one to this day with the China flag on it, the factory name, all that stuff. But it's a crazy story, actually. No, I didn't get my name.
No, I think you did.
Oh, do I? I don't know. I don't know.
I'm like, wait.
But what's even crazier about that is that factory is called BC Mart. They were doing like tons of New Era work. And we actually got screwed by them. They got like New Era didn't have an NFL contract one year, and then all of a sudden it came through in August, and they flooded all the factories they contracted with. Like that August was like, we got to get all these NFL hats delivered by September 30th or whatever. And so like our whole, I guess it would be our fall delivery got pushed back behind that New Era order. No. So we didn't get our New Era order. Our fall order to like November when it should have been delivered in August. But anyways,
that you're on the team.
Yeah, I know. Hey, dude, money talks.
I get it.
Yeah. So, but that factory owner, like, I don't know. All of a sudden, like everybody left, and like my merchandise manager emails me from a new email. I'm at this other factory. I'm like, wait, what happened to BC Mart? He's like, didn't say anything. A year later, I find out like the boss, like he's either missing or dead. And when I ask, like I'll ask different people I know from the factory, I'll be like, what happened? Like what? And they're like, I don't know. And I knew he had like family in Vancouver and like they lived there. So either he like got into some money trouble and bounced out to Vancouver, or he's dead, or I don't know what happened.
Holy shit.
Pretty crazy because he was a young dude. Like, there's no reason for him to. Yeah.
Damn, that's wild.
So the basketball team got dispersed too. Yeah.
Damn, win by default for the other guys.
I guess for a pretty good reason. The guy's missing.
Or dead.
Yeah.
Or dead. Damn.
Yeah,
And they
crazy.
told you that, missing or dead?
Well,
Or was
I
it kind
drug
of
it out of them
implied,
like
kind
years
of?
later. Like,
Right.
what? How, like, they're like, we don't know. Like, I mean, he's either missing or he's dead, but we don't know what happened. Yeah.
Remember
And there
this
were some
kidnapped
financial
Jack Ma?
issues, I guess. So I don't know.
And stop asking.
Yeah.
Stop
Don't
asking.
ask any more questions.
Pretty crazy.
That's
So you went with missing or dead.
yeah.
I mean, he could
That's
be.
believable.
Well, he's probably chilling somewhere.
Yeah,
actually.
maybe.
Yeah.
So
We just
How
took
young
the-
was he? Was he a mastermind that badass or?
he was a cool dude. He was like a lively dude. Like, we would just he constructed the basketball team, constructed the whole
Okay.
factory, and their whole culture was like, yeah, you play the basketball game, but really it's all about dinner and the drinks afterwards, and so like it was a fun factory for sure to
Sounds
work with.
crafty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Badass.
Yeah.
You guys should
Really
do that
cool.
here, basketball team.
Yeah, you guys need your own.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, start
But I
kickball
suck
or
at
something.
basketball.
The problem is, you go play some dudes just get
I
destroyed.
suck at basketball.
breath.
and I used to be good at football, but I'm a little.
Yeah, that's a little
slower
hard,
now.
Yeah, recreational football is a little harder to
Yeah.
kind of do as an adult.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't even know
I
where
know.
to
I don't
sign
know.
up. Honestly,
I get out of a chair now, and I'm 31, and I'm like, I throw my hip like to the side. I'm like, is that supposed to hurt like
It
that?
was
Something's wrong with me.
after 30, things started kind of like
Yeah.
cracking. My knees started cracking a little more.
Oh yeah.
But it's all right.
You guys have no room to complain yet.
Not yet.
Does it get worse?
No, yeah. Yeah, it does.
I hope not.
You don't want me to get into those stories.
Yeah. Just keep stretching.
Just keep
Yeah.
stretching.
Move your
Yeah.
body. Don't
Some
stop.
yoga?
Do some,
Yeah, yoga for sure.
He
That's
loves
right.
the yoga.
Yeah.
I need to. I need to get into
Oh,
hot
yeah, do
yoga.
it.
There's
Yeah,
goat
hot yoga is
yoga,
cool.
too.
You get.
I want
You'd
to.
be surprised how much you can stretch
can
when
do
you're
it at
sweating.
home.
I know, but I don't have the time.
No, it's only 10 minutes.
I don't have 10 minutes.
You do
Yeah,
10
so
I could do
minutes.
10 minutes.
Yes.
See,
Good.
that's
That's not
fucking
bad.
convincing,
Yeah.
man.
You can do
That's
5
all.
minutes.
10 minutes?
Anybody
Fuck
has to
yeah.
say to me, "Hey, try 10 minutes," and I'm sure, like after 10, I'm like 15. Sounds
Yeah,
great.
actually,
you
you
know?
got the right idea. I mean, Vanessa could probably elaborate more than I could because she studied the book more. But there's a book called Atomic Habits, and that whole philosophy is like do 1 minute and then do 2 minutes, then 3 minutes. So like just build up your
Don't make it seem like a chore at first.
Yeah, no,
Like
it
I
should
was like,
be-
I don't like reading.
Yeah.
Reading's not for me. Well, I just started reading, and now I love books, and I
Right.
Yeah.
read.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kind
You
of
could
push
train yourself
Yeah.
to love anything, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what that book's about
Interest.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if it helps, like let's say yoga, it helps me out. I'm sure I'm gonna fall in love with it or something.
Yeah,
Or, yeah,
yoga's not
whatever
gonna
it
not
is.
help you out. That's
Right.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking. I took it in college.
Wow.
Yeah, I took it in college as my physical education. And
Smart.
I was one of 3 or 4 guys, and there was like 26 girls in that class.
Yeah, super
Oh,
It's
smart.
one of my
Yeah.
favorite classes of all time.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
dude, they did.
They did.
Only me and 2 other guys knew about it.
Yeah.
Like, they kept bending over in the most tightest thing. I was like, I'm just, all 3 of us looking at each other. Like,
Yeah.
This is real.
Yeah.
Love yoga. Is this okay? We're okay. All right, we'll take it.
That's
So it was
wild.
funny.
Yeah.
And then when they started the massaging
Yeah.
each other, that
That's
was like,
great, yes.
whoa.
That's
wow.
part of yoga too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
I'm gonna have
When
to
you're
look
in
into
child
this.
pose.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Man.
look into yoga a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, what
But
college?
Sierra College.
Sierra, let's
yeah,
do
it was
this.
pretty
I'm
nice.
coming.
It was a good time.
Dude.
I love you, my wife.
It's
Before your
just
time,
class.
baby.
Yeah.
This
I'm
is
just
way
joking.
before.
But where were we? Let's go back
know.
to the origins.
Yeah.
We're right back.
He
We
was
were at-
missing, either dead.
Yeah, back to
Yeah. Well,
being in China a
Yeah.
lot.
But yeah,
and
back to
really-
China a lot. But learned that system, and that really set us up. Gave us a good position just to scale the business because we felt like we had an inside track on production. Where a lot of brands, like a lot of our competitor brands, were using merchandise companies like in Irvine or LA or whatever, and you're paying a couple extra bucks per piece. So that margin gain that we were getting just by going direct, I mean, in some respects, it was nicer because they were saving time and don't have to invest all their energy and learn that system so much. Right. But for us, we felt it advantageous just to learn it and be direct.
Yeah, you guys were the ones willing to go to China and check it out.
Sure.
A lot of other people feel like, oh, let them do that.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and even to this day, I mean, we still, we found, just by investing in energy, we white label a little bit of that knowledge because we have it. Yeah, so.
Yeah, and really that little bit of margin too, even if it's $1 or so. I mean, over X amount of pieces, even pennies can add up really quickly.
It's
paper bags. It's like, man.
Yeah, it's 3 more employees a year, you know? So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And for us, again, if I went back to the philosophical reasoning for like investing so much time into China is I really believe that they produce things better than us. They have cities, they have one-stop shops where we were having a cart everywhere around. It was inefficient. And we're able to employ, at that time we had like 20 employees. So we're able to employ 20 people. Whereas if we were relying on production here, we wouldn't be getting the margin. We wouldn't be able to create as big of an ecosystem. Big time. So I really felt like it was a good solution for our business model for sure. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't take the plunge to find a solid manufacturer.
Yeah.
And that's where I think Official really set themselves apart from all of your competition during that time.
Yeah.
People had to ask their manufacturers what swatches are out available. You're in the factory watching all these swatches, brand new ones roll out.
Actually, yeah. The swatch game's crazier.
I believe it. My brother Moss went to China and he brought back bags.
Yeah, you actually go to the fabric market, and then you spend. We literally spend 2 full days in the fabric market, and your eyes just get like everything starts looking the same. Yeah. But you're looking for diamonds in the rough, right? So, and it really was our play for a while. We'd always have the different fabrics, the different, stuff. And so, like, even to this day, like, even like the diacrylics that we get, we haven't been since COVID, but we're still riding off stuff that we got pre-COVID, you know? Right. So, yeah.
Yeah, and you guys' hats always popped because those fabrics were so different.
Yeah.
New Era wasn't doing those fabrics. All of the major clothing lines weren't doing fabric matching the way you did.
Yeah, that was special. I think that part of it is the size of New Era. Like we're sourcing stuff that it just doesn't fit into their model. We're able to like be a little bit more nimble. They're going to the same markets as us. They're just not spreading out their range of what they're doing like we are.
I have a question though. So you got the 160K order, but before that, how long were you doing Official before you decided to go to a trade show like United in Vegas?
Man, it wasn't long. I bet it was like, I think we came from the trade show. Like we literally did the agenda show magazine and stuff like that. Like, cause we came from magazines. So so we were in that like ecosystem. So I'd say like it was 4 to 6 months. Like literally we got the samples, our first set of samples a week before. We're at the trade show the next week.
That's badass because even a brand like ours, we still haven't presented at Agenda or Magic just yet.
Yeah, it's a little different now though. The trade shows were super important.
Right.
And wholesale was big business. Like right now, like wholesale was 90% of our business. We did have a Shopify store in 2007. We were like one of the first. I don't know what year Shopify was founded, but we were a pretty early customer.
Yeah.
Trade shows, it was 90% wholesale and distributors. We had tons of international distributors, stuff like that. Now it's all direct to consumer.
It is.
Yeah. It's inverse.
We
had
do
to learn
really good
that
direct to consumer.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
We want to start jumping into some more accounts and stuff, like just try it out.
Yeah, I think it's worth it. Yeah.
Because honestly, back when we were trying to get an account, nobody was ready for a more weed conscious brand. Mm-hmm. They were still playing off the LRG really, really subtle stuff. Yeah. And they were telling us that we couldn't enter the market as a weed brand. Yeah. This one sticks in my head really tough. It was this guy who worked at FTC in downtown Sac.
Okay, yeah.
We went in there, and this is when Diamond Supply Co. was at its peak, and Official. You guys were really, everybody was doing their thing. Streetwear was really popping, like 2000. 12, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
And he told us straight to our face, there is absolutely no room for a weed brand in the clothing industry. Yeah. And he told us every reason why. And that crushed us. It really did. This kid had a lot of info. But then...
Is FTC still there in downtown?
No. It's not. He lost his motherfucking
I like him
job.
a lot, but you're right.
And I'm sure because of his mouth, he lost his job. And lost a lot of revenue. Because I probably would have bought something that day, but walking out there, I was so turned off.
Yeah, it's a bummer. So, I mean, I know the...
You should have, if I had the retail store, you should have came into my store. Because
I would have loved to.
I bring everybody in, and I'm like, oh my God, yes.
No, man, we were denied by almost every. We went to Get a Clue. We went to all these people, and they weren't ready for us. Yeah. I think now with the legalization, all of that. We are now just a normal other brand. Yeah. But back then we were too risque for them.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't put it so much on the individual as much as like the general consensus that like, we brands.
They didn't want to present that way, but then now Cookies is all up in there.
So
you know?
What year was it? So totally off subject, but kind of on like that weed tip is when we were thinking about doing edibles, and we wanted to do, but it wasn't legal, you know. And remember Baker's Goods, which is like that whole like it wasn't the time, you know, to introduce something like that, and it's like, I don't know. We were talking to like really good people that are well known here in the restaurant industry.
Yeah, commercially, I mean, we were dealing with a Michelin star chef. So
but they were scared. They were just no. He built it out, you know, had like...
Yeah, the only Michelin star chef in Sacramento, so Sacramentans would know who we're talking about. But
what year was this?
Oh, this was probably like 2008 or 9 or...
it was like...
You guys were starting edibles then.
Well, no, it was a concept.
We just wanted to talk to people about...
to a friend.
Actually, the restaurateurs were down, but there's still just like the legal issue.
The legal aspect of it.
But anyways, just that, you know, they weren't ready. You know,
they weren't ready.
Like, they were, And then now, I mean, there's like every. I'm like, God damn it, we could have been making some really good.
At 2007, you were 10 years too early. I mean, that is.
But you ended up just doing it in the right spot.
You actually would have killed it if you worked under the SB 420 and you did it all medical and got your little everybody didn't start catching on with that one till around that time. It was just make a collective.
Even if you like operate taxes right now like a delivery service that's not licensed, you'll probably, the worst that will happen, and don't take my advice on this and try it, but you'll just get an email from what's now the DCC, which was the BCC, saying, we know you're operating, you're not legal, get a license, and here's how to get it. And they'll just keep sending that to you. Just keep pesting you.
Stop it.
So, if anyone's looking for...
But could you pay taxes as a non-legal delivery service?
Well, you can, but...
then you'd really be...
But, you know, they know, like, you know, if you have it kind of floating out there, they'll find you one way or another, but... They'll just kind of pester you because right now I think they just have limited resources, but eventually they'll get that dialed in, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
But back then, it's kind of free for all, Wild West.
I don't know if that.
A little guidance.
But it does speak to timing is really everything.
It is,
yeah. Sure. And honestly, for us, it kind of made us pivot. We said, fuck accounts, let's go direct to consumer and let's build our online. And that's what we did. And that is... You say most of your business is 80% wholesale, 80% for our right. Well, ours has always kind of been that.
Yeah.
And then the other 20% is going out and promoting, doing shows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, very cool. I mean, I think that's actually, I mean, that was you already know it. You already know it from building that way. We had to kind of learn it inversely, like through the years, malls are shutting down. Retail is just broken, so people are buying online more. So all of our mom and pop retail accounts and even chains are like shutting down. And you're like, okay, well, we need to read the writing on the wall and get more direct. And there's so much more benefits to direct because the idea of a kid going into Zoomies in Minnesota and finding an official bag and buying it and just putting his stuff in it, and it has a label on there, but he doesn't have any connection to the brand. And if we can somehow, I mean, whether it's through social media or marketing or through a friend. He connects to us directly through our website. I mean, I hate to say it like this, but we get to own that customer, right?
Yeah.
It's not just the random kid at Zoomies that we're never going to have any connection with.
Absolutely.
They're our customer at that point.
You now have the ability to, like, pretty much bring him back every time 100%, and it's on you.
Yeah.
Not on the Zoomies employee.
Yeah.
It's on you to keep him coming back.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier to do it that way.
Because the Zoomies employee, too, won't capture that info and send those follow-up emails.
Or it's their interpretation or whatever.
It's the whole experience, you know?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I really like that model better. Unfortunately, we've had to learn it as a pivot. So it's moving a bigger machine to a direct to consumer model. But I'm so happy that we're
where do you think you guys stand now? Are you guys completely flipped? Like
it's probably 90% direct to consumer.
90% direct to consumer.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, probably between 80 and 90. Yeah.
That's official.
Yeah, official. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So I appreciate it because I mean it's just way better to be able to communicate and connect and get and collect the feedback. I mean, the feedback is invaluable. So
And what's the biggest thing? What they tell us all the time is, you can get a customer, but how do you keep a customer?
Sure. Yeah.
And if we have more tools and ability to kind of keep them, it makes all the more difference. You know
how much money you can spend to get that customer, because if that customer is coming from Zoomies, you really don't know the LTV of each individual customer because you don't know how much, if that's the same customer coming back or a different customer.
Yeah.
But if they're your customer, okay, it cost me $20 to get this customer and they're going to spend $150. So I know what my return is.
Yeah.
How much I can
pumping
spend
into those ads.
Yeah. And honestly, I like when sometimes when, let's say someone bought something out of stock and we have to call, I kind of like it sometimes to call them. Hey man, how you doing?
Yeah.
Hey man, I'm very sorry, but we don't have the product that you ordered, something.
Yeah.
But you get to kind of bring them closer to you
Yeah.
and kind of give them an in to the brand.
Yeah, I love the restocks. There's on Shopify, there's an app for that'll do it for you.
Yeah, I know, but the connection, I bring them back every time because they now know my name.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
really good.
issue too, right? At some point, like once you get
too
many,
sure.
at that point you just don't have that. I guess that out of
I
stock,
don't do those anymore.
Yeah.
We have a girl that handles all of that now, so I stepped out of that realm.
That's good.
But every once in a while, I like to go in and give a call.
Yeah, absolutely.
I still think.
Or she'll ask me and she'll say, "Hey, what are these things? What do I got to do?" I say, "Did he put his number?" And she's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a phone. I'll call him up.
That's awesome.
Let's make it happen.
That's awesome.
Oh, man. To this day, I mean, we've been doing it for 15 years. I mean, this is on a different project, but that we're learning or at the very beginning stages. But we had a customer that was having an issue and let me get your number. I want to call. I really want to solve it because we need to figure it out for everybody else and that we hope to bring onto the platform. I talked to him on a Sunday night. He made not an Excel, like a PowerPoint presentation of his journey to solve the problem that he figured out himself so that it would help us. And it was amazing feedback. And it's so cool.
Awesome.
And so I don't think that, as the founder, I would want to be as close to those types of feedback as possible always, right? I mean, it's invaluable so
that's
cool.
like your ear to the street. That's your finger on the pulse,
sure.
you know?
Yeah. And it's a new project. And if you can't get 10 people to love your product, you can't get 100 people to love your product. So you got to figure out how to get those first 10 to love it,
Wow.
So
That's the truth right there, man. That's the way of the world today.
Yeah, sure. Too many people want millions of people to fall in love with their stuff right away, and you're like,
And on top of that, today, people are more interested in what's behind the brand than just the brand itself. Like, that's a cool design, but who's doing it? Who's behind it? What do they represent? What is this brand about?
Sure.
Exactly.
So it's more than just the face now. You gotta people are digging in with social media and all of that.
Yeah.
Really
True.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, very cool stuff.
So let's go back. Let's go back here. We have now went to a United Trade Show, and then you wrote 160K.
Yeah, sure.
And then it wasn't the best, and then you release it anyway. I think that's what
I didn't get order from Pakistan for 4 years. Probably had to that buyer was definitely gone, and we just dealt with a new buyer. But yeah, then we just started growing, and the business really started scaling. I mean, Lids was our biggest customer, and I mean, we were probably doing millions a year with them, and now we do $0 with Lids.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean,
by choice or
well, a couple things.
different?
I mean, Lids has closed more than 50% of their retail stores.
Makes sense.
Okay.
And then they pull back the brands, right? So they'll go back to the new areas, any of the other sport. I mean, all the sports stuff, and and really small on the action sports. Or they always grouped us in action sports, which is a weird thing, but yeah. So yeah, no, and that doesn't mean that we won't be in Lids again, but they're not annualized as far as a revenue channel.
Yeah.
So,
No, that makes sense, especially with all the things going on, malls closing, stores, retail hurting.
And we don't produce as many hats. Well, we want to produce more hats, but we'd be skipping way far ahead, and we can get to that. But supply chain is a challenge now too. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I believe that, man. With
rough.
COVID is really giving a hit to everybody.
Yeah, we can definitely get into some crazy supply chain stories from COVID for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's really we went from that 8 years, from 2007 to, or whatever, however many years it was, from 2007 to 2019, pretty much smooth sailing as far as production and supply chain goes. We actually had we've had a warehouse in the Netherlands before that was dealing with all our European distribution.
Nice.
It's kind of cool. It definitely made things flow a lot easier, and there's no sense in shipping things here just to ship it to Europe. So and then we had a warehouse in Hong Kong that we were doing. So as soon as Trump came in office and all the tariff stuff went crazy, we're like, okay, we got to figure out a solution for this, because we went from paying 5% on hats to up to 47% on customs duties. Wow. Yeah, so I mean, it takes
47%.
And you weren't able to pass that cost on to the customer, right?
You can't.
So to find a solution, we had to find a solution. What we learned is we could ship. And this is we saw other bigger companies doing this, but we could have a warehouse in Hong Kong. So we'd ship our product from mainland China to Hong Kong, and then you could order something on a Thursday night, and it would process the order directly through through our shipping software. Sorry, and our Hong Kong warehouse would start processing that order. It'd be on the airplane Friday morning. You'd have it Monday. Monday or Tuesday. So good 4 or 5 days but it was only a day longer than if we were shipping it from our warehouse here. And because it was a direct to consumer product, we didn't have to pay customs duty on it. Got rid of that customs duty charge.
Were there any other challenges with it came from it
There was all kinds of weird stuff. There was actually some weird stuff, for a little bit, Hong Kong was going through these protests. We had a lot of black stuff. Any black stuff would get held at the border for weeks, and then we'd have to put it back to China, and then we'd have to ship the black stuff from the California warehouse, or weird things like that.
The color black?
Because the protesters were using black. Black hats especially. It was like a black hat movement. So black hats really didn't work. But then as soon as COVID happened, so this is kind of tricky. So as soon as COVID happened, I mean, we had probably 80% of our stock in that warehouse, I think. And we had tons of orders at that time too. And all of a sudden, all the commercial flights stopped. And what's happening is USPS is contracting commercial flights to get that over. They're not using USPS airplanes, So all the commercial flights around the world are stopped, and all of our stuff's either sitting in the warehouse or in those containers at the airport for weeks or even almost a month or two, And customers are tripping because the problem is they pay for everything, but they don't see any movement, and they just think it's like a scam or something. So anyways, we had to move that whole warehouse. We basically had to dead that whole model and move that whole warehouse via a container or two to California, and then we started shipping back out of California warehouse.
And that's on ship.
Yeah.
So that's a 33 weeks.
Oh yeah, we didn't have stock for it was 5 weeks.
Wow.
But and then right now there's a supply chain issue. We just had a shipment from China that 5 weeks, but then there was 5 weeks sitting in Port of LA.
Yeah, just sitting in the water, anchored, right?
31
We've
ships.
We've had that.
Yeah, it sucks.
The packaging for the
Yeah.
weed
Bags.
industry
Yeah,
is just held up.
Bags
Right
were
now.
waiting.
Yeah. And air's super expensive. I mean, sea went up and air went up.
Yeah.
So really tricky
It's-
problems right now.
It's really tough.
Yeah.
Every one of our China products has gone up, and
Yeah.
it's hard to manage at that point.
Yeah.
It is tough.
Yeah. So that hat that I was paying maybe $250 for a piece back in 2007 is around $450 to $550 now. So more than double in cost too, plus customs duties.
Yeah.
So it's gone up a lot.
That can really hurt a brand, especially if a lot of their manufacturing is done overseas.
Yeah.
That's a tough one, man.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And I mean that it's that tricky thing. Like we invest so much time and energy, we're embedded in that system.
Right.
But then it's not as profitable and we're losing margin.
Right.
So we at least got to move some of that business in different places cuz I mean, you stay there, you're going to sink yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you bring me back to when you wrote or when you went to a show and took in a really big ass order and thought back to yourself like, damn, we did that? Was there ever like a mama we made it type of feeling?
There was a couple,
you know?
but one of the best shows, and it's weird, I actually wasn't there. We had a sales director, and his name was Justice Benz, and we had an office manager, her name was Yadira, and they went and did it was magic. They did magic in Las Vegas. I probably went to like United or Pool or something the week, or I went to that, but they did magic. And we thought, we won't do much there. And I'm sure they wrote like over 1 million, but I just remember like each day, it was like 2 or 3 days, I'd be like, yeah, what's the total? And they'd give you the number, and you'd be like, oh my God, this is crazy.
And you weren't
I wasn't
there?
even there. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
You were
And
at
I think he
another
landed
show?
like some major chains on that show too. No, just I was at home or maybe, I don't know. But I wasn't at that trade show.
Like the
So that
show
was kind of
your
a cool.
life, and you were
Yeah.
Wasn't even there for the show.
Yeah.
I would have been down that
yeah.
same day. Hey, I'll be down in an
down
hour.
there right now.
I'll be down.
Yeah.
Sounds
You're,
like-
no, maybe there was commitments or something here. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't like I was, I'll just spend the day at the beach, but
Yeah.
it was a reason. But yeah, that was pretty amazing. I mean, we had for a while, because we relied on trade shows. I mean, we'd spend $150,000-$200,000 on the trade show. Yeah,
That's
for
when
sure.
we got a sprinter van because we
Yeah.
had to.
Yeah, we'd have a
Card
van.
everything.
Oh, actually,
Card
we
everything,
had
like
the
it's-
trade show stored, I don't, in a warehouse in LA.
Mm-hmm.
It was built by a trade show building company or something, and then you have to deal with all the like drayage fees and all that stuff.
So you guys bought like a trade show
Custom
type,
trade show
custom
booth,
yeah.
booth. Okay.
yeah.
And then you would have to buy every slot for like $5K.
Yeah, I think we probably had like 4 booths at that time. Yeah, so no, I think they're like, man, at least $5K. They might, I mean, the spot would probably be like 40,000-50,000.
Wow.
You'd always bring like distributor. You do the club thing with the booth.
With the friends
yeah,
and all
you
the
do.
employees.
Well,
make
yeah,
a big
or
splash.
distributors.
Distributors.
Oh,
Trying to-
Okay.
or big retailers. Somebody you're trying to land or impress,
Yeah.
or say thank you to. I mean,
Or say
that's
thank
another-
you.
yeah.
A lot of strip clubs.
Yeah, strip clubs. Yeah, all that. Oh,
Have
amazing.
to.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
Why was there $400 taken out of the account?
Oh, yeah,
Like,
we would do the-
I
had to.
I just
Yeah.
had to.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
Would you want me to
no.
go up to the hotel room early?
Yeah. Luckily, like
Stand
I think-
around?
I think the biggest strip club
Yeah.
endeavor was with you. So at least we were,
okay.
at least we were
You were
together.
part of the-
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah. Actually, one of
that
our
was
distributor
the
from
last
Brazil.
night.
Yeah.
on that strip club night, our
Oh,
distributor from
gosh.
Brazil, he lost his wedding ring at the strip club.
He lost his
yeah.
wedding ring.
Bad move. Yeah.
I think
Tough one to explain
Yeah.
to the wife.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
Don't
very-
just slip
Yeah.
it off of them.
I think
I'm
he
sure.
must have did
I
something.
might have got jacked.
I
That was a
don't
gnarly
know.
strip club.
It was.
I don't know the name of it. You guys might know, but I think like 4 of the last 5 owners are in federal penitentiary.
Oh,
now.
shit.
So yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
this is in
God.
Vegas?
In
Yeah,
Vegas.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one Mayweather took over. I bet.
Oh man,
Gnarly.
that's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to know that story. That is, I mean, I'm coming up in the clothing line behind you, and I'm excited to continue on what we're doing, and it's nice to finally meet somebody that's done a good chunk of worldwide selling, and I like it, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's
dope.
a journey. It's fun. My advice would be to embrace it and cherish every moment.
Thank you.
Realize the stages so that you're like, okay, I'm in this stage and I want to enjoy it, not be stressed out by it or, or not appreciate it for what it is.
So live in the moment.
Yeah, live in the moment. And then,
don't have so much
curious.
employees
I mean,
either.
like,
I think we wanted
keep the
to
team
employ
tight.
all our friends.
Yeah.
I think that is
sure.
Keep
a
team
lesson
tight
learned,
for
I don't
sure.
know.
But I'm curious to see, I mean, even asking those questions, I just think it's a different world now. So, I mean, luckily you're in cannabis industry and trade shows are still a thing. So I think there's the potential to, I mean, you have a history of trade shows and brands that have done things. So you can learn from those, what's the successes and the failures and make the right moves.
Right.
But yeah, for clothing brands, just pure clothing brands, it's tricky for trade shows right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we now know the come up. Where are we now with official? What are you guys up to?
Okay, so official. Well, we have official and All Good. So those are our two main brands.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I've seen All Good.
Yeah, sure. Outdoor lifestyle brand.
Nice.
And so let's see. Okay, so for All Good, we have a store downtown. We used to have a store in Portland, right across the street from Ace Hotel and Pal's Books. I don't know if you're familiar with the area, but it's right downtown. And then for official, we had a store in LA for 3 years on Melrose. We have a store in Japan right now for All Good. And that's with our Japanese distributor.
Nice.
And he's
really
a really cool dude. It's been there for 3 or 4 years now, and it works out good.
Japan's all in, man. They always buy everything.
Yeah. And we're right off Cat Street. We're in the perfect area, and
nice.
Their culture
and then
is so nice.
Really is.
And we've had retail. We've had like 15 stores in South Korea through a distributor, and they're like department store concessions, but they run them themselves, and it's cool. It's a cool experience. I mean, you don't have much control of that because it's distributor, and but yeah, it's interesting to have.
Sounds
those
like
things.
a far arm out from your company.
Yeah, a little too far.
Too far.
Yeah. And but yeah, I mean, at the moment it was fine and it worked. I only did 2 visits to South Korea, so it's kind of tricky. I mean, again, like when you have retail, I think, and she manages the retail, and you just have to go constantly.
You have to go. I was going every month to Portland. It's not like I get in my car and I get to go see the store and check on everything. So it is tricky, but we had so many amazing opportunities and adventures that we got to go on, and that kind of brought us to like Gxxd Box because snacking and doing all this. But anyways, just that whole retail experience and
even out of that All Good store, like LeBron James, that's how he started wearing All
in
Good.
Portland. His stylist went in there.
Tinker Hatfield was a customer, which is like to us, I mean, he's a god because he designed like 20 Jordans or something. So
we saw some amazing names, and we're like, Google them.
Yeah.
This is great.
Well, the store was in a pretty cool spot because I mean, everybody. There's so many business visits to Nike or Adidas, and
everyone.
and,
we had one employee that would always like, they're just in here just to check our designs and do all that stuff. If anything, if they get inspired, that's
he would
cool.
even show us like
he was
he'd
like,
do the
look
next
at,
season. He'd be like, "See, they stole that."
Oh man. Okay.
And this is in Portland?
This was in Portland.
Oregon?
Yes.
Wow, that's
That was fun.
Yeah,
you
that was a
got
fun store.
to manage that far, and you had to go once a month and make sure everything's in line.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was good. It was fun.
It's a commitment.
Yeah.
But what I was thinking was when you have your distributors out like overseas, that's still really cool because you already know your product is quality because you provided it for them. And they're just another place to get that brand out more and more. So I mean, I think that doesn't hurt.
Yeah,
at
distribution.
all.
The distributor model is pretty good because you've got a lot of control in your hands, and they're just making sure it gets into the right shop. If they understand your brand right, then they'll get it there. And if it doesn't work, then I mean you'll know pretty quick. So
right.
Yeah.
So you have one in Japan.
Yeah.
Would you say that one does you the best?
Right now, that's our best distributor.
That's cool. How big is that store?
Oh, it's small.
Oh, it's a
In
small,
Japan, everything's small.
Yeah,
So,
True, yeah.
In Harajuku, it's like,
yeah. But he sells to other stores in Japan too. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we're in a couple cool stores in Japan.
That's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
To be across the ocean and have that type of an impact over there.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, I mean, it's an all good store, and in Japan, like, yeah, they really. I mean, that's part of the inspiration for All Good was that they have these magazines like Go Out, and they just really celebrate like casual outdoor lifestyle. And that's really where that brand sits, So it resonates well with kind of what's going on in Japan. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Is that how it kind of turned into the All Good, like you mentioned a little bit earlier, got into the All Good Box too?
I mean,
is that how did that? Yeah, is
Take
that
us
just
into
the
all
same
good. I
brand,
think we're
or-
there.
Yeah.
I know
yeah.
it's a different item.
To
Yeah.
Good Box or
Yeah,
good?
to
Take
Good
us
Box.
into Good
Yeah.
Box. Yeah.
Well, we love snacks and
Oh.
Yeah.
plant-based, and so we felt like there was a market for that, for a convenience store where you can just go and get healthy snacks, plant-based snacks, and we wanted to be the first to be cashless and I don't know.
Contactless.
Contactless.
Yeah.
So no
yeah.
cashier.
No cash. No.
Yeah, no cashier. Yeah, I mean, we have a person that we think of as like a guide.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. But
So tell the people a little more about the aesthetic of it and everything, because I think the container in the middle of a spot and the glass that's
Yes.
there,
Yeah.
like give them to the people that are listening like a visual.
Well, I think it's unique and it's different
It's
to
super
Sacramento,
unique.
and
Totally.
and I think it's attractive. So, and being a plant-based, I think, and that's all we sell there. You don't have to look at a label. You know you're going in there, and it's totally fine.
That's
but
huge.
the store is. So we ordered a container years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah,
Yes.
'cause I wanna
Yeah.
know
Oh,
how
yeah,
you
yeah.
started.
Super
So-
cool.
Yeah. So we ordered a container. I went to the factory in China. We ordered a container. We're gonna do like a pop-up retail somewhere with it, and then COVID happened, and we're like, okay, we're not doing a pop-up retail clothing store anywhere with this right now. But the container was ready, so we got it shipped here, and kind of in that process of like, I literally think it was on the boat here, and we're like, what are we gonna do with this thing? And yeah, I mean, it's a classic story. Like we're going on we're on a road trip, and there's no snacks for us, and we're plant-based. So, and the idea of being able to walk into a space and not have to look at a label, you just know it's good. We have to look, and then we see milk powder, and we're like, oh, can't have that.
Can't have- yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
so we're like, okay, yeah, let's build a convenience store. It just has all the stuff we like. Some grocery stores
That's
like
cool.
a Whole Foods or a Co-op, they do a good job, but it's
Yeah.
a whole grocery store. It's a big endeavor. And so we're like, yeah, you should just have a small compact spot. Stores like Erewhon in LA, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but just like kind of those experiences, but compact into a container. The container was used shipping container, floor to ceiling glass on the front side.
Who customized it?
They did in
They
the
did
factory in China. Yeah.
So they put it on a ship ready to go.
Ready to go.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
exciting.
That
Yeah, it was crazy.
cool.
Yeah, we literally
It's
like
really cool.
unpackaged it,
It
off
was-
these metal sheets when it
How
got here.
cool is
It
that?
still
Yeah.
has a little rust on it. We haven't
Yeah.
looked at it
However,
yet.
well, we don't
Leave it. That's
So
character.
yeah. It's a tricky thing. So we've run into problems. We have this container, and we're like, okay, cool, yeah, we'll plop it wherever. We get the city health permit and the building and planning permit. They're fine with it. Sacramento. California Housing Community and Development is not cool with it. I give them the plans. They're like, well, A, you have to have this redrawn because they're from China, and then B, it won't meet the seismic code. So like,
The container itself.
yeah, which is weird because it's a shipping container. It's not gonna fall on anybody.
Yeah,
No.
But it's just, I mean, a code is a code. I do get it. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
bummer, and I wish there was a workaround. But yeah, they're like, nope, it's not gonna work. You gotta we have to re-engineer it with some like different cross beams and stuff.
Yeah.
So we kind of like, well, yeah, we probably shouldn't say on the podcast, but we kind of wing it right
Yeah.
now until
Yeah.
we get
Yeah.
that till we get the.
Hey
yeah,
man,
yeah.
What the old saying is, ask for forgiveness.
Yeah,
before
sure.
Permission.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
are the people that
Yeah,
win.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, it's true. And I mean, we have to test. We have to find product market fit with
We
this.
do.
So I mean, if we
Yeah,
just let it
there's
sit
no
there and do
option. No,
nothing,
yeah.
then yeah.
And I know one thing is Sacramento and I'm sure California is always looking for the next big thing.
Yeah.
And you guys have a really cool next big thing.
Oh,
It's
I have a friend off the internet, and she's a digital artist, and she came and she's like, I'm inspired just being in here right now because I would hope to have my own store like this. And I was like, oh my gosh,
I don't know
that's
if you guys
amazing.
know this, but I messaged. I don't know if I messaged it from our Fiori account or my personal account, but before we knew we were doing the podcast and everything, I messaged someone in one of the accounts and was wondering if you guys had it as a franchise because I thought it was so damn cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the best. Because I'm plant-based too. So I was like, this is the shit.
Yeah.
This is exactly what
no,
plant-based people
we think
want,
of it as
or people that are looking for that.
Yes.
Think of it as a fully scalable model, right? I mean, our ideas, let's test it. Let's find the product market fit. And then it's tricky. We don't necessarily know if we want to own 100 convenience stores, but we should at least build a good product and have fun with it and see how far we take it. But I also know that, like, I don't know. My fantasy is that, instead of gas stations, you have these convenience stores and electric pumps or whatever. So,
That's
can you patent that model?
Actually, that's an interesting question. I think in our brand name is official, right? We've always we have it registered, trademarked, everything. We've always had problems. People just use it or all kinds of things, and we've always kind of taken. Well, we've had a couple cool experiences where we've confronted whatever we thought we were being infringed on, and then maybe something good came out of it. Like we ended up designing a season for that bigger brand that we thought stole our stuff or whatever. I just don't want to spend a lot of energy. Like I'd rather like rather than spending a bunch of time trying to secure the patent and protect ourselves, just move fast, get too far ahead of anybody. So it's like either they're gonna buy you or you're too far ahead.
Well, I'm thinking like in terms of like the guy who patented the blender.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could see you guys's your creation being something as a blender. Like so many different brands have. You have different brand blenders.
Yeah.
But the blender is a blender.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And who owns the patent on that? You don't know who owns the patent on
Yeah.
that, but he's balling.
Yeah.
His family, that's generational wealth.
Yeah.
His family is wealthy.
You're right. It's actually probably something that, I mean, you're smart. And I think it's something we probably haven't paid enough attention to. But I guess the advice would be like, you have like a quarterly meeting with an IP attorney and just spew out all your ideas so that he can tell you, dude, you should patent that, or don't waste your time or energy.
Yeah.
Right.
But at least if you had an IP attorney that you trusted, they'd give you good advice on that stuff for sure.
I honestly, I was impressed when I saw it. Alex, we did a podcast a couple days ago, and Alex showed me it for the first time, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
The aesthetic of it, the look of it, the glass, the container, like rugged container look, but it's painted matte black, clean as hell. With the clear you guys got a good camera and good Windex. Because it was crystal clear.
Cool.
And all of the snacks. So I'm not vegan, but I saw it as like a 7-Eleven less the cashier with all the munchies that a stoner would love.
Yeah.
You know
Exactly
what I mean?
what I'm going for.
But a vegan
But
stoner would go,
Yes.
this guy.
That's I was drooling, bro. I was drooling.
Actually,
I
probably
I'm ruin it tomorrow. I'm going in, getting everything
He's
tomorrow.
so juiced about it. Like
vegan stoners are the lowest hanging fruit in the world.
It was like something that nobody ever paid attention to them for. You know? And they're finally saying, like, I got some fucking place I can get some snacks.
I can eat pork rinds.
What vegan stoner can read a label looking for plant or for milk powder when they're high? Like, at least you know.
And there's been a number of times too where my wife has come home because after I went plant-based, she went plant-based too. And she'll bring home stuff, and then I'll like look at the label, and then I'll really be dissecting it, and then it'll be like, one little milk powder or lactose powder. Or
dude,
something.
I'm a casual vegan where if I bought it, I'm like at this point, as long as it's not meat, I'm like okay, this
That's
but strict is good.
Ranch.
I'm a
they make good vegan ranch.
Yeah, she makes good vegan ranch. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how far things have come too
Yeah.
on the plant-based side.
Oh,
of things,
yeah,
how
it's
good
amazing.
things- You
Yeah.
know what the most freaky thing I just had recently, and I had it before maybe a year ago when it first came out. This is that Just Egg. I don't know if you have that. So I
that's
had it
life-changing
before,
for-
and it wasn't good. Then I just went to Las Vegas. I think we're at the Wynn, and they had a vegan omelet on the menu. So I was super stoked. They brought it to me, and I was like, "Hey, this looks like real egg." I'm like, I can't eat this. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, can you just take it to check the chef? It's supposed to be vegan. And I'm trying not to be like that dude,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
but I was
yeah.
like, I just can't eat eggs. I don't eat eggs
I don't
anymore.
actually.
you know?
I don't mess with eggs at
Yeah.
all anymore.
But
like
you
it,
can
it's
tell,
gross to
like
me,
now,
yeah.
and it grosses you out if you
Yeah,
can smell the
yeah,
egg.
it
gross
So
me
yeah.
out.
But you know what the crazy thing is? They took it and they brought it back. They were like, "This is the new Just Egg,"
Yeah.
and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
that good. And I'm
Yeah.
like, "There's no way." And sure enough, I bought some when I got home. Made it myself. I was like, they improved this shit,
Really?
just like scrambled
Oh, wow.
eggs.
Yeah.
It
That
is
guy.
weird.
Yeah.
I started making stuff
Yeah.
all night long.
Did you
It blew my
send
mind.
it back or did you eat it?
No, after they, well, so she was,
I
I was like, can you just confirm this is just egg? Like, I don't want to just
love
like,
it.
you know, I
People
got to get
that-
on a plane in an
Yeah.
hour. I don't
Yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
don't want to throw up or do anything.
Yeah.
And so
What
they
the-
went back and they were like, yeah, they actually said that we get this a lot.
yeah.
And
That's
they send it,
amazing.
You
So
know
I was
that,
like,
You
uh,
ate it.
I ate it, and it was
Okay, good.
delicious,
You know
and
the-
it was. I could at that point, like I was
You
like
weren't that
looking
guy.
at it. No, but I kind of made. I wasn't a scene, but it's like you don't want to be like questioning them. They're like, it's a vegan omelet.
But they get it a lot. I'm sure that
Yeah.
that was like throwing everybody off.
Yeah.
because it was different.
Yeah.
It's
Because
new.
it looks so.
It
looks
looks
like-
so
Oh,
real.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know that
Wow.
#1 draft pick? He's sponsored by Just Egg, and he's a vegan dude.
No way.
That's
I think
the
we just-
Jaguars. The
I don't know, it's
Jacksonville Jaguars, like
It's tall, skinny guy.
right with the long hair.
Nah, but she Kate or something like that. But he's vegan.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and he's getting paid in Bitcoin, so he's like the
No
full, like he's like
way.
Damn.
like, yeah,
He's futuristic.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like
he's
it.
on another
now.
level.
But no, that is like. Have you guys been to Plant Power downtown?
Yeah,
That-
yeah,
that-
yeah.
And that
Yeah.
was like life changing for me
Yeah,
too. Because I'm
yeah.
like, it's the first place
Yeah.
I can go.
Yeah.
That's like a fast food style
Oh, yeah.
meal that I know there's
Yeah.
like
The-
burger patch
yeah,
and stuff.
sure, yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Something about this place. I
Oh,
was
you
like,
liked
this is
it.
some good food.
Cool.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had the experience of like having a burger and being like, man, I gotta ask them because I don't know if this is real. or
Not with the
Like,
burger.
oh,
No, thank God.
I've had it once or twice, and it's
With
kind of sketchy. You're
The
like,
Impossible?
yeah, like with Impossible, you're like, I don't know, this might be real. This tastes too like,
Yeah.
real. And
That's
then,
the
yeah.
most terrifying part.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
Like,
you
oh,
just see like the
Yeah.
little
Oh,
juices
no.
coming
Yeah.
out.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is-
You got
Yeah.
a chef that don't care back there.
Right? I know.
yeah.
Vegan.
Sure,
I mean, the
that's what I'm
worst
worried
thing is
about.
they're all just cooking the same shit.
Yeah,
on
it's
the
all
same,
on
On the
Yeah.
same pan.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I'm sure he doesn't fire up the grill on the left
it's like,
side
let me
for
get
the,
the vegan
vegans.
grill
to-
fired up.
Oh, the vegans here.
yeah.
Grill it up for them.
Oh, man.
I see probably a good or a bad thing with the box.
What is it?
Either you're gonna have a cool hangout for a bunch of vegans,
Mm-hmm.
or a bunch of vegans are gonna be loitering at that thing, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Set
a
up some chairs
7-Eleven
out there.
status,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like I don't know if it's a good or a bad at
Yeah,
that
like
point.
the weird people that you find at 7-Eleven, but they're vegan.
Yeah.
Right. yeah, exactly.
The people checking
dude.
all the labels, you know.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's it.
You're gonna have people hooking up there,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
finding their
Yeah.
their soulmates,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm sure
Well, I can't
vegans
wait
are
to
not
find
a
out.
It's,
'Cause
yeah.
right.
We just started opening a couple days now that the kids are off to school, and it's been great. Like, you know, for Monday was like, oh, okay, nobody knows we're really open. Then Wednesday, more people, and so it's just gonna like
It's good.
build
You
from there.
so
and
you hit
I
the
see the
niche.
potential.
Yeah.
You hit the niche right
Mm-hmm.
now of these guys looking for you guys.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And as I'm telling you, they're gonna. Everybody's that's vegan is going to your box. It's gonna spread like wildfire
Yeah.
because he knows 5 vegans.
Yeah.
At least.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. And this is the thing. There's a convenience store on the corner next to our warehouse, right?
Yeah.
And I've been there probably 100 times. I've never got an email newsletter from them. I've never felt like I was part of their community.
Absolutely.
Right.
You go once to Gxxdbox and you're in our community. And your case in point, he's in Roseville. That's 20 miles away. He knows about the store. He doesn't know about the convenience store that's on my corner, and he has no reason to go there.
Exactly.
We're
No.
differentiated. There's a reason for him to go there.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
What-
cool.
What does that process look like too? So when somebody walks up to the box, so it's certain days you guys have it right now.
Right now, we're
Yes.
just popped up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, pop ups. Walk us through like what from when you walk up to the box? What do you do?
Yeah.
Like, what's that process? Like?
Well,
Hopefully you're greeted.
I know. Yeah, you're greeted.
Cool. So there is someone there.
Outside. Yes,
Okay.
someone has
Cool.
to be there for now. Future, hopefully you'll just have a scan and walk
Yeah,
in,
we have the door set up so you could scan it out.
and
Yeah.
then you'll be able to walk in and purchase. But you're greeted, and then we just kind of show you how you purchase. If you're not familiar with like QR codes, because everything's a QR code.
Okay.
And then so we'll teach you how to purchase, and then we kind of just let you start. Like we'll share our favorite snacks. I've been trying different ones, so then we can help our customer choose a snack, or if they can't decide or they want just our advice, any recommendations. And they get a shop. We recommend bring your own bag, or we have bags for, I don't know, what are they, 10, 15 cents?
I mean, it's snacks.
Reusable
Mostly
bags.
people,
And we'll
Wrapping
build
it
from there too. I mean, we have so many ideas.
And we have sundries. Like we made our own toothpaste tablets. We made our own.
I was wondering about that. I saw that, and I was wondering if those.
Yeah.
That's
So
really cool.
again, like they're vegan toothpaste tablets. They're also like river lake safe. You know.
Yeah.
So and then the tech on the experience is kind of cool. We had been working on a payment app for a couple of years, blockchain based. We've always had. It's always been a struggle. Blockchain stuff is just always a struggle. But anyways, we're kind of getting close to the date of opening. We're like, okay, we're not there with the payment app yet. We figured out like kind of just a hack through Shopify with the QR codes and using a Shopify
cool.
shop. And so basically, you just walk in, open up your camera, scan a QR.
Takes
it
you
just
to
adds it
Shopify.
to takes you to Shopify. You just add the cart and keep shopping.
Almost
And
like
just-
a guest cart.
Yeah.
Temporarily.
Well,
Like-
it just creates a cart, and then
Okay.
and then just like you would on Shopify your first time, right? Like as soon as you're ready to pay, we have Apple Pay or just credit card or PayPal. So generally, most people have something loaded up on there that is just one click. If they don't, I mean, they're
Or if
putting
you
in some
shopped
debit
on
card numbers.
Shopify,
But
your information
Yeah.
is saved in there. So.
yeah, so it's a pretty good experience. It's so good that like we're stoked. We're like, whoa, we found a Shopify hack, and so I found the product manager for it's a free Shopify app. It's actually a Shopify app called Shop Codes that's kind of integrating the QR and the Shopify platform. So yeah, we're working with the product manager at Shop Codes, and we show them like kind of the problems that we have. Like sometimes there's like it will add multiple carts or something. So we give them those problems, and
You have to ring it up one at a time.
Yeah.
It's-
So it's been fun because we thought we were building an app and we found the hack and we're like, oh, dude, we just saved ourselves like $20,000 at least.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I was gonna ask that tech couldn't be cheap to build.
Oh,
Unless
God.
Actually, I mean, we probably saved ourselves. Yeah, I mean, the very minimum viable product is more than 20,
Yeah.
but yeah. So yeah.
Wow,
and
that's-
it's probably way more advanced than when you would start yours. So
Yeah.
you already started with them
Sure.
at a better start, and then
Yeah.
you're ground up with them, helping them with their kinks.
Yeah.
How did you guys
Works.
find it? Like figure out that would work
Just
for
We had
what
like
you
a
were
time where we
doing?
were getting
No,
ready
we were
to
crunched,
launch
yeah.
the
We
Good
actually-
Box, and
yeah,
I think
we were in the office and just Micah and I were just like, man, we think we can make
Figuring-
this work, and we linked the shop codes to the Shopify, tested it out with some codes, and it worked. And we're like,
well, you did
oh,
some
dude.
research at night, and you were like,
Oh,
shit,
yeah, that night I found it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I think I
Yeah.
found it.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh my
yeah.
God.
I clicked on the right
I
button.
did, I know.
I don't know where I am. but
Yeah,
it
yeah,
worked.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's badass.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
It's cool because that's something just I don't know. I just find like a lot of people would kind of give up when they are
it
faced
was-
with something and be like,
yeah.
"Oh, this I'm not sure
Just
how this is gonna
struggle.
work. Let's just do it how everybody else does it."
Yeah.
But instead of just really kind of like being creative
Persistence
like that.
pays
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
Pays off big
Yeah.
time. That's awesome.
I got a question. Okay, so let's say 4 years down the line, you don't have to stand there no more. It's supposed to be automated.
Yeah.
What about stealing?
Okay. I have an awesome answer for
So,
this.
He
so
Like,
I
does.
know,
okay.
I know
Vegans
Amazon.
don't steal.
Yeah, because it's the honor system.
That's why, bro.
I'm sorry, if there's good
Hopefully
vegan
it scans
popcorn
your
in there.
Yeah.
If there's good vegan popcorn in there, someone's gonna come get it.
Yeah.
But my question is like, I know Amazon has cashier or employee-less
Yeah.
stores.
Yeah. But dude, actually, the Amazon experience is not that good. You're like scanning in weird.
I've never
It's
been.
not good. And like
Really?
this is even more like free. What should I say? Free range in a sense. Like
Okay.
I mean, the idea is this. Look. I mean, people are going to steal from you no matter what. If somebody wants to steal from a convenience store, they're going to steal from a convenience
They
store,
are.
right?
True.
You're not going to stop
Yeah,
them.
even if there's
Right.
a
So-
person up front.
So
yeah.
that. Secondly, I mean, as the tech gets built out, I mean, you're scanning when you go in. Yeah, multiple people can go in, but you have a record of everybody that's been in. There will be cameras
That's
in
what I'm
there.
thinking,
So you,
right?
I mean, you can easily integrate with like facial recognition software pretty cheaply as like a pay-as-you-go type situation where you don't need to invent facial recognition software to integrate. So yeah, you can kind of do some of those things. But if people are going to steal from you, they're going to steal from you. Also, and this is not a good public answer to that, but if somebody's going to steal from you, at least they're stealing good food, right?
Right.
So,
Healthy food.
Yeah.
Some good snacks.
You have the ability to cut their membership if you were to.
Well, I mean,
catch
right
them on
now
the
we
camera?
don't, but yeah, you would. I
You
mean,
would,
Yeah,
right?
you would
Just
be able
turn
to.
I guess
their-
we could right now, but yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily built in as an admin.
It's like,
or-
okay, you
Yeah.
stole one time from me.
Yeah.
That was your one
Oh,
shot.
put them
but
on
I'm
blast on
sorry.
social media,
Yeah.
their
Yes.
face and everything.
Yeah.
You're
My
6
God.
months
Next
time
time they
out.
go back in,
All
the
these
door automatically
pictures.
locks. Turns
All
around
these snacks are
inside.
contained with their face on
Go
it.
back to
Oh my
Whole
god.
Foods, asshole.
Yeah.
Everybody from the
Yeah.
outside just
Jeez.
watches you now.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
good bucks for you. Get your ass
That's
to
pretty
freaking
cool.
Trader Joe's,
Yeah.
your ass.
That's really cool though. I
Yeah.
think that whole concept is just really. And are you guys sourcing from just different
So
I guess
during-
retailers, or how does that work? Or
We
distributors?
We have one big. We source from Unify, and then we've.
It's a distributor.
As a
Oh,
distributor,
distributor,
but back to like during pandemic, obviously I opened the store in August, and there was nobody still. It was still very quiet, and this is when we were like thinking like, what are we gonna do?
For
and
all
I'm
good
like,
store in Sacramento.
Yeah, and so I just went like on a rampage at a list of like all the snacks that I wanted, all the ice creams, candy, chips. So I did a lot of research on like what's the best,
And there's still
snacks
just
and-
product testing,
there's
and luckily,
still-
Product test,
yeah.
right?
And
Yeah,
the funny
product
thing
testing
is,
is
like,
like-
yeah,
Yeah,
and
oh my
what
gosh.
happens is because she searched so much, it's just she's constantly marketed. Luckily, I'm not.
I'm getting
Yeah.
marketed
She just
left
gets
and
marketed,
right,
so,
and
yeah.
now I'm like, I need these chubbies
Right.
snacks. Like,
Yeah.
they're what's the Uncrustable? It's
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's a vegan, like
Yeah,
healthy.
a vegan
That's
Uncrustable.
I'm like, I need these in
That's
the
a
store.
stoner
That's
That's
awesome.
exactly.
See,
Yeah,
just grab it.
Oh my gosh.
Sandwich is already
Sing
made.
to 'em
But
right now, guys.
the crazy things, I think I just need to actually order the product. I'm trying to get a hold of them, and I can't. Jason's
Yeah.
like, you need to call them. I'm
Yeah,
like, "What do I
persistence
do?"
pays off.
Call
I know,
them.
I know.
Yeah.
He's emailed them. I've emailed
Oh, yeah, I
them.
have, yeah.
I've sent them a DM.
Yeah.
Nothing.
That is so cool.
But yeah,
But
just
that
sourcing
is-
on our own. I mean, the distributor takes care of a pretty good percentage, but
Yeah.
but then yeah, just finding the cool snacks is fun.
Yes.
Actually, and then part of her goal is to just worldwide source. Like she brings in like some the peanut butter stuff from Mexico. Or,
Oh, just
Oh, cool.
finding
Yeah, yeah.
other stuff
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
other
Yeah,
cultures.
yeah.
What
That's awesome.
what culture is really into veganism? Indian?
Yeah, and
really
Thai.
big.
And
Thai.
Thai.
Yeah, yeah.
Thai's got a lot of good
Yeah.
vegetables.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
The way
see,
they
we
do
Yeah,
gotta-
you can
I
never
gotta
go wrong at a Thai
I gotta go
restaurant,
find
so,
some
yeah.
snacks in
Seriously.
Thailand or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably can. A lot of the little chips that I get when I go to Guam and stuff. There's a
Oh,
lot of
I'm
different
ready to
types.
Oh, is there a
of
lot of Thai
chips.
people in Guam?
Not Thai, but there's a lot of Asian influence. There's a
Right.
lot of Japan. There's
Yeah.
a lot of Korean. A
Yeah.
lot of Chinese.
Yeah.
And a lot of everything else, kind of. But those mainly.
Yeah.
But yeah,
cool.
a lot of Asian snacks.
Yeah,
I think are vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
for sure.
But
be
that's
good.
what I mean. Yeah, we just need to have a spot so we're open, so I know where I can buy more, because I don't want to like lose on product that was just sitting there.
For sure.
You
Yeah.
know, so yeah.
That's the scary part is you now create when you create the monster. Now
Yes.
you got to keep that monster fed.
exactly.
And
Keep-
you're gonna get all these vegans.
yeah.
Banging
And
out
you
the
what?
door.
But then that's
Where the
yeah.
fuck are the
Where's my-
chubbies?
Yes, where's the chubbies?
They're just
But guess what?
gonna
I'll
be-
be able to email them and say, you know,
See?
Yeah,
Aaron,
yeah.
your chubbies are here.
Yeah.
Connecting
Come.
with the community.
Yes.
That's
yeah,
it.
that's it.
You
Yeah,
know?
you're right.
But-
Follow 'em.
Call them.
But I heard vegans are feisty.
Yeah.
No, just if
Yeah.
someone tries
Actually,
to
it's
feed us
funny.
meat.
Yeah. We're I mean, well, there's a little bit of the feedback is a couple experiences. One feedback is that food's not very healthy, and we're like, yeah, it's a convenience store. It's not. I mean, it is.
Absolutely.
It's
It's like-
it's not Whole Foods.
It's
It's
not
not a bunch of.
the
We're not.
co-op
Yeah,
down
No.
the street.
it's
You're
not
gonna
a
get
farmer's
your- yeah.
market.
Yeah.
It's convenience food, but
Yes.
but it is. We would hope that the majority of it is healthier than if you walked into a 7-Eleven.
I mean, we have drinks too. You know,
another
some
experience was
wellness
once-
drinks.
You don't have to ever go on anybody's pedestal that you don't have to be on.
Sure, you're right.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can be on my
Yeah.
own
Right,
pedestal.
yeah.
man.
But Alice knows that vegans are pretty, like you said,
they're
feisty.
feisty.
Like we even had a kind bar in there, and this lady's like, kind bar has a honey in it.
That's why we
watched
called it
and I said, well,
Yeah,
we're plant based.
We're plant based. That was
That's smart.
the
Yeah.
other thing.
But in fact, that kind bar didn't even have honey in it. I just was like so shook off her. Like I was like, oh no, did we order something wrong?
Totally.
And then Mike's like, no,
Making you feel a type of way.
I mean, we're not.
I get it.
We'll miss something. I'm
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
sure there was one drink that we missed. It had
Oh, it had a what?
because it had
no, it didn't. It was just
collagen. It was like
collagen.
fish,
yeah.
fish
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And we're like,
Yeah.
ah,
So
shit,
crazy.
You know, like,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But it's good. I mean, it's kind of nice because it brings awareness to like,
Yeah,
at least
sure.
for
Yeah.
you guys,
Yeah.
and then it brings awareness to like, it's kind of good for people to know like, hey, there's some weird shit
There
in
is,
the
in
most
the-
random
Totally.
things we're
That
consuming
doesn't
all
need
the
to be
time.
there.
Yeah, like
I
why
mean,
is
yeah.
that in there? Like,
I mean-
and then just I was talking to someone about this about Cheerios. I was like, on the box it talks about like healthy cholesterol. Eat these Cheerios helps lower cholesterol, but then it's marketed with like dairy milk that has
God.
cholesterol.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah, yeah.
that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Why would you
Yeah.
market lower cholesterol with milk that you know? It's just crazy shit.
I mean,
but
I always go back to the plain Lay's potato chip has milk powder in it. You're like, what's the
Why
point?
does
Like,
a
why do you do
potato
that?
need
It's
milk in
There was
it?
no milk for that.
The dairy industry just wedged themselves into everything.
Yeah, they sprinkle it on everything.
They
Yeah,
did,
It's
yeah.
Use
crazy.
milk powder on this.
Yeah.
Oh
Weird.
Oh my gosh.
They probably saw the price. You know, it's almost okay. Here, have some dairy.
Just a little bit on
This is
there.
your daily
Oh.
recommended.
And a lot of sugar.
Yeah,
a lot of
totally.
things. We
Yeah.
need sugar.
Yeah.
That's cool though that you
Yeah.
guys. I mean, the fact
Oh,
that
it's
you
a fun
guys are
thing.
doing that and have done it and
It's
are
fun.
Yeah.
bringing awareness to that, I think is really awesome because it's gonna be
you.
really, I think, a powerful way for people to learn about, especially during COVID, health. I mean, look at everybody trying to just be more conscious about their weight or what they're eating or exercising, and then focusing on a plant-based diet is really, I think, the future for people. Like especially Americans are obese. I lost 100 pounds when I went vegan in 1 year.
Wow.
Without going
Amazing.
to the gym once.
Oh my
Amazing.
gosh,
And
that's
it's like,
awesome.
but
Congratulations,
before
that's
that,
cool.
I was like, holy shit, you know, it's impossible to get all this weight off. You know, it just seems like
I've
just
gained weight going vegan.
no way.
He's the unhealthy vegan.
Unhealthy vegan.
That's
He's
what I was
like-
just about to
there's
say.
there's an unhealthy vegan and there's a whole
Yeah.
foods
Yeah.
vegan.
I just
Yeah.
learned about that.
I'm
I
kind of
never
in the
knew
middle.
there was
I eat Taco
unhealthy
Bell.
vegan.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I didn't know
Oh, I
that.
have a Taco Bell. I have some good recommendations. So,
Yeah.
okay.
See, that's the thing. I feel like you can find the balance, but
Yeah.
you know,
I have
it's
the
not for
hacks,
everybody.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
no.
feel like it does work for some.
But it goes back to what you were saying is that people want to know where everything's coming from, whether it's brand or the food. And so like even that feedback or like people being super conscious in a store, sometimes it's a little threatening or you're like, oh man, I don't know, you might be too concerned about this. It's just the fact that people are concerned is actually really good.
Absolutely,
You know? So,
Right.
yeah.
That is true.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
flipping it around.
Yeah, sure. Because I mean, even the way I was raised, I never cared about where anything came from. Just consumed it. That was it. Whatever it was,
Yeah.
food or
I
products or whatever.
still
Yeah.
don't care. not
Yeah.
not on an
Yeah.
insulting
No,
level.
not at all.
On like a never trained correctly
Totally.
to
Yeah, yeah.
look. On a, I've never really tried to go any sort of vegetarian or vegan or anything like that. My culture actually, my from my Guamanian culture, is we eat a lot of meat and rice, and we eat a
The
lot
rice is
of
delicious.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and that is like meat is a big part
Yeah.
of our
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
our spread, our
Yeah.
fiesta table.
Yeah.
There are some a lot of companies starting to alter things they're making to be more vegan.
Yeah.
Guam's going on a big vegan kick.
Wow.
And
Why for sustainability or just what is it? They don't have to
They're-
source so much stuff if they do.
no, just Guam's getting healthy.
Oh, cool.
That's cool.
That's pretty
good.
much
Yeah,
it.
cool.
I mean, I wouldn't
Yeah.
say majority,
Yeah.
but I'd say there's
Yeah.
like out here, there's that like 10-20% of
cool.
the population
Cool.
actively looking to increase their lifespan, pretty much. I would think so.
Yeah.
But
I mean, just by going plant based, you decrease the chance of contracting cancer by 40%. So,
is that true?
yeah.
Wow.
Well, according to vegan propaganda movies, it's true.
Oh, shit.
But no, you know
one's
what?
verifying these
No,
facts.
but I'll tell you what, my dad, like 4 or 5 years ago, so he's from Iran, right? So they're a big meat rice, everything,
the
dairy,
kebabs
like
and
kebabs,
stuff.
right?
Yeah,
That's
sure.
all he ate.
God,
That's all I grew up on.
Yeah.
And he had a quadruple bypass 5 years ago. And then when the heart surgeon got done with him and he was in recovery, they were like, teaching him what he should eat for recovery. And they told him the only diet that's scientifically proven to grow ventricles around blockages in your heart is if you're on a fully plant-based diet. So he was like, if you want, to basically regrow all the veins and things, that had damage, this is what you need to do. And this is from like heart surgeons that are looking at your heart, that are, obviously with computers and stuff. But
I've seen what you got.
So that was like, once I heard that, I was like, he still eats meat. He still eats meat.
Yeah.
But kind of
More controlled.
controlled.
Cleaner.
Yeah.
Moderation.
But he's like one of those old school guys. He's
That's
like
my parents.
Yeah, he's like, I've been doing it. He's like, I'm a happy guy.
Yeah.
I get it.
He had a good time eating good food.
Yeah, but you know what? I will say something. Famous Kebab in Sacramento. They're off of Fulton. They're just like, I've always had old school Persian food.
Yeah.
Last time I was in there getting food for my family, because most of them eat meat, then I went in, looked at the menu. They have like a whole vegan section now where they did plant-based kubide kebab, which is like nuts.
Oh, wow.
And they do like wrap sandwiches. So I think soon
What
enough,
about
and it was actually damn good.
the sauce though? Is it still yogurt or do they have a
So theirs, you'd have to not get the sauce on theirs because theirs is all just really dairy. They don't have any alternatives yet, but the actual, like, they do margarine now, so they don't have dairy-free butter. So it's amazing.
Cool.
It's pretty cool.
Very
so I think
cool.
they're starting to get there,
sure.
but
Your community is growing.
It is.
All facets too, like middle, those are Persian people we're talking about, like
That's
us Iranians, like
Yeah.
they're big meat eaters, and now they're
Well, the
starting
cooler
to do it.
thing is your community's growing, and you guys have a business to feed it.
That is cool.
That,
Hey,
you guys
people
are
gotta
ahead
eat.
of the trend
People gotta
again.
eat,
Damn, that's really cool, man.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, fun
And
stuff.
actually, that brings us into our next topic of NFTs.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that is
This is-
that is
this is-
so confusing to me. Ask Dev. Dev
Yes.
knows that
Yes.
it's extremely confusing to me that people are buying something that they cannot hold in their hand and put in their pocket and show off to their friends.
Yeah.
And I know you're probably gonna say it's on a phone. You could show them on a phone, but tangible wise, like you know.
Took me a while to understand.
Well,
I
you,
know.
you do you already
Break it
value
down
things
for someone.
I mean, you already value things on your phone, right? Like pictures or whatever. So it's kind of the same thing. I think that it's easier for people to adapt that probably were in a cryptocurrency space or something where they already could value something that they didn't hold tangible wise, but it's all the same, right? Like you believe something has value, therefore it has value.
Right.
And the same thing with, I mean, we live in a digital world. So, I mean, there's value in that digital world. So I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to get your head more into like understanding that because you can't hold it doesn't mean it's not valuable.
So what I told Dev was I said, okay, so I buy an NFT and it's a digital piece of art and okay, where's the value in this? So people buy collectors, they take it to their home office, they put it up. Like, hey man, that cost $300K. That's a dinosaur egg.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh shit, dinosaur egg.
Real dinosaur
Well,
egg.
I said, well, maybe if I took an NFT from a really, really dope artist and I put it onto an iPad and like put it on display or something, I would get my value from it.
Yeah.
Or if I I don't know. Like
I think that there's a couple different plays going on in that space, and it's a wild west for sure. The NFTs as digital art is definitely like I don't know so much that you're gonna display it, and there's where the stunting and the value is gonna come in. It's really probably that the fact that it's collectible and you're going to be able to resell it in the secondary market for more money. But that's the digital art play. What we're working on isn't necessarily, it's not wholly a digital art play, and we really think of NFTs as a receipt or a membership or access or admission or proof of authenticity, certificate of authentication, something like that, not just digital art. So again, the idea is that you have a pair of sneakers that you bought on StockX and you have the receipt for and everything. You're like, I'm going to resell these. again, blockchain is kind of a solution, almost like a direct-to-consumer solution where peer-to-peer, right? Like we've all worked in e-commerce for years, and Visa, MasterCard have made millions of dollars off of us, and Shopify has made money, and Stripe has made money. And on the blockchain, it's just me and you. Just like if I was to give you $20 cash, I should be able to give you $20 in cryptocurrency, and nobody else needs to get involved, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No taxes there either.
Yeah. Well, there should be.
There should be.
Okay. At the end of the year.
Yeah.
But not in that exchange. But yeah.
So this is super interesting to us. Can we blaze up for this one?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
No, go for it.
Go for
schooled
it.
on NFTs.
And I do have to, I want to say something too while we're
Okay, go for
lighting
it,
up on this, because bringing back to like certificate of authenticity, this is like your validation of what it is, almost goes back to your dinosaur egg theory, right? Like that dinosaur egg could be fucking fake.
Sure.
Complete fake fraud.
Yeah, right.
And anyone can say it's a dinosaur egg, and they can even fake the paper, but it's a lot harder to fake that digital.
Yeah, I'll give you a use case that even kind of proves that out. Like Swiss watches, right? Like boutique Swiss watches, where only 1,000 are made a year. Well, if 10% of that brand's watches are fake, if they just simply switch to an NFT where they're only selling NFTs and you get the watch, right? Then they've eliminated that counterfeit market, other than the people that want to buy fake. But for people that don't know they're buying fake, they've eliminated it, because when you buy it, you're buying an NFT. You can check the contract address and make sure it's actually from the manufacturer, and that proves its authenticity.
Okay.
Why don't they do that? Is that something they are working
Swiss
on
watches
now?
is a really good space for that. They're doing it. And a lot of like high-end art collectibles are doing it too. Yeah. So that's where that's where you might see value in it.
Right. That
Oh.
makes more sense. Something, well, you hit it on the nose for me, is something I can buy and resell for more.
Yeah.
That brings me value.
Yeah.
The way I guess I was hearing it at first was you can buy a painting, but you can't put it on the wall.
Yeah.
That's how it felt to me. Like, whoa, where's my value there? You know?
I mean, on a digital art play, there's a little bit of that. Like I said, it's kind of you're buying it in hopes of making more money down the line.
Right.
The other benefit of it is, on a lot of smart contracts, you can buy that art and then you can resell it. And say you sell it for $10 more, but then for the next 20 years it's sold 10 more times. You should be able to get a commission on every one of those sales.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was just art on the wall, you're not getting a commission for the rest of your life.
One and done.
So you basically created a revenue channel for the rest of your life.
So that brings me to, who is building the value of that piece of art? The artists?
Yeah, well, okay, like I said, it's a bit of a Wild West right now. But you do have artists that are endemically from the space, like a Beeple, or who's kind of built for NFTs, right? And that guy, I mean, he's put in the work, he's built the community, and dude, his art's going to keep selling for so much money, and rightfully so. It's amazing.
Yeah.
What if one day he stops and he disappears, or becomes an alcoholic or a drug addict and disappears? Does the value for that art you got, or maybe he was caught as a pedophile or all those shitty situations, does my value of that NFT ride on him being a good boy for the rest of his life?
You take the same risk if you bought his physical art, right?
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. It's not much different.
True.
I think too, with the going back to like the art aspect of it, you look like, before we had photographs, we had paintings, right? And then now we have photographs we put on the wall. But eventually, we're not going to be working in rooms with normal walls, I think, eventually.
Sure.
We're going to be working in the future.
Yeah.
And then you're going to look funny if you hang something on the wall. But if you have your digital thing, we'll have digital screens and stuff.
Hologram.
Hologram
display.
And guess what? Now you're showing off that NFT, that
dope.
one of one that you have. Yeah. And when people walk in your house, it's on there. I mean, nobody can come in and jack it off the wall, in theory.
Yeah.
But it's there, and you can show it off, and it's able to be sold. So I think it'll be more of like the future of how we do art, even on the wall, somehow integrated even to just different screens. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's more of a metaverse idea, which is definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
And I mean, think about it. Like, you have the real world where you buy things and you have physical things that cost you money, but then you have this whole other world that you're gonna buy shit for and stunt with and all that. So like now you got to manage two worlds.
Yeah.
Right?
So it can get costly.
Very costly.
Or it could be profitable too, though.
On the artist.
Well, you know, they've got I don't know if you've heard of them, but NBA partnered with Top Shot, I think.
Yeah.
And they do these like pack releases, right? So you pay $35 and you get a digital pack of basketball cards, like digital trading cards. But you have to get in line. Usually the lines fill up, so you have to it's crazy. It's like madness, right? But the whole like allure of it is you could get that one card in there that's worth a lot of money, and you only paid $35, and then you can turn around and sell that for $500. All the other, or you can get like 7 packs of just nothingness, you know.
Right.
Sure.
So it kind of just creates that Pokemon.
That's that
open up your
Pokemon
thing, you know.
craze right
I'm gonna
now,
open up 1,000 of these,
It's
even
so
if I don't,
huge.
you know.
Yeah, we kind of have a same type of a model that we're working on. It's called Mystery NFT, and so on our
that's cool.
platform.
Nice.
You basically pay like a $40 a month. You're going to get a mystery NFT every month. Our general play will be that, you get I'll give you an example. An artist we've collabed with before. I'm not going to name the name because it's not locked in or anything, but a Hawaiian artist teams up with Hawaiian Airlines. Does cool NFT, and you get a t-shirt collab with Hawaiian Airlines and that artist, right? It's shipped to you with the NFT each month, right? Or for that month. And then there'll be an Easter egg. Somebody's getting a round trip ticket, or maybe there's a premium level where all those people are getting round trip tickets, or whatever it is.
Sure.
And the next month it's a different artist and brand collab or whatever it is. So every month you're kind of just coming up with a mystery, and then maybe there's some secondary market potential to that too. And even for us, the platform we're building, we have the infrastructure for warehousing, fulfillment, all that. So like the idea is that again, if you had a pair of sneakers that were $1,000, you're like, I'm gonna sell these. I got them from StockX. I have the receipt. Take a picture of the sneakers. Take a picture of the receipt. Put it on the marketplace. We can ship it. We can manage all that. If the new buyer buys it and says, I don't even want it, I'm gonna resell it. They can warehouse it at our warehouse, and as soon as somebody buys it and wants to ship it, then it can ship out.
Right.
You know. So, but again, you can collect commission on the resale of that sneaker. For as long as it lives, or as long as it's for sale on the blockchain, and it's incentivized because each person should make a commission each generation. So
Right. So how about the artist? Can he keep recreating the same NFT? And
but it's not in his best interest, though, right?
Right. He wants to keep it limited.
Sure.
So let's say he made 5.
Yeah.
And then
5 editions.
5 editions, and 5 editions went out. 5 years later, he snuck another 5 out to his homies.
Yeah.
Can he do that?
Well, they can do that in the real world.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's any. I mean, maybe there's some ways that definitely some digital ways that you could get over on some people for sure. But it wouldn't be in your best interest.
I understand what you're like. He could paint 5 more paintings later, but the ease of just copy and paste is a lot more.
Yeah, even the beginning of my journey with NFT, I was like, this is just Tumblr, but it costs money. Like you can go on Tumblr and see the same GIFs. But I think that'll all get weeded out.
I think so.
Yeah.
From what you seem very confident in this system, and
dude,
made me a lot more confident about it.
Yeah, I don't see why 5 years from now you don't have an Instagram for NFTs where you have all the NFTs you've owned, all your private NFTs, maybe something you don't want to share to the rest of the world, but it could be registration for your car or whatever it is, the bike that you have that has the warranty and the specs and everything, and then all the NFTs you have for sale, or all your concert tickets as NFTs, just so you can thumb through and see your experiences, like that kind of stuff.
Life.
Yeah,
That
story of you
makes sense now.
all in one place.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I hope that the audience listening was as uninformed as I was before we walked in here. But you just created a lot of the value for me. You explained it better than Dev. But he tried hard.
The first time I heard
He's really good.
He's just on another level.
He tried, but I get it now, and it makes total sense.
Cool.
And I think where the true value is going to come in with those is like what Alex said. Like when people, like let's say 15, 20 years down the line, online, someone walks into your bachelor apartment and you got Shepherd Ferry's NFT that it's like one of those hologram things that go like this and something cool. And that's just wow factor shit when people walk into your house.
Or it just follows you.
This little machine's holographic just going.
And then you go like this with your finger and scroll through people's NFTs.
Seriously. That makes total sense now. And my first time seeing it was Preferred Gardens had one.
Yeah,
he
we did that one.
posted it, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And then I was like, but what is it, Dev? And Dev was like, well, this is what it is. And I was like, but I can't hold it.
Well, you guys would know more than me, but why hasn't the cannabis industry like really locked down? Like, how is there not a Topps trading cards of all the strains?
So there is now.
Okay.
Somebody just
Is it
kind of
good or
popped
is it
on
crappy?
that. It's actually pretty well done.
Okay.
Kind of looks more like cyberpunk
Yeah.
feel, you know, but it's there, and I feel like a lot of companies are starting to do it. When we did the Preferred one, we had a really cool like graphic artist that is from Vegas.
He's good.
Yeah, he does some good work. These guys actually, it's a group of guys, Creative Concepts, I think. I'll have to get it right, but these guys are all like magicians, like real magicians. I didn't even know this was like a real thing.
No way.
They create magic tricks that you'd like sell to MGM, like all these things they put on
way.
that.
Great. Oh my.
And I didn't
they're
know
out
this
there.
little fun fact. One of them told me, I was talking to him the other day, that Sacramento has one of the largest magic distributers in the world.
Wow.
Here.
Wow.
I don't. It's
You
the
need to get
crazy
that
shit.
guy on the podcast.
Dude,
Yes.
What kind of magic
There
is
is
he pushing, man?
Man, these guys, they're something else. But anyway, they also do like 3D design too, and so they designed like a really cool. I think it was like a nug. Was it? The nugs were all like this red color, and then we had it dripping and all this stuff.
Oh, cool.
But basically, it was just more of like a. It wasn't tied to any purchase necessarily. It was more just purchasing that as art.
Yeah.
So to speak, or
yeah.
representing the brand in a sale.
Yeah.
Which is kinda interesting.
So, in your opinion, who is the biggest NFT artist at the moment? Who's making? I just saw that one sell for $300K of a rock.
Yeah.
Did you
see
that?
that?
I saw a rock.
I saw it on Vice, I
ETH
think.
rocks or something. Yeah, I mean, there's. Yeah, are you guys familiar with Zed Run?
No.
Dude, it's pretty crazy. It's like basically. It's so gnarly, actually. So you buy like these cyber horses.
Okay.
It's just a horse.
Oh, I've heard of this. Okay, please.
And then
yes.
like, it's just basically you start racing the horse, build him up, find the right combination. He's going to win some races, gain the value, and then you can sell the horse for more value, right? But also what's happening is people are just betting on horses all day long. There's a race every 30 minutes. It's so gnarly.
These are virtual
horse
horses.
racing. Yeah,
Virtual
it's really
horses.
cool. It's like Tron track. Like they're going through space and stuff. It's
And
so
so
crazy.
they're building up their horses.
Yeah.
There's like different
stacking
breeds
like-
too of horses.
dude, and
too,
people
right? Like
made
different like.
dude, people made hundreds of thousands of dollars on these horses. Yeah, it's crazy.
Insane.
Yeah.
We should get in on
I'm
that.
Yeah.
still confused.
Yeah, it's gnarly, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. But those are all rabbit holes. You kind of have to like decide, like, okay, I can know this much about it. I'm not gonna worry about much more. Like I probably said the whole thing wrong because I spent 5 minutes looking at it, right?
Right.
But yeah, there's that. The art, I mean, there's the collections, which like that Bored Ape Yacht Club. Have you seen that? I mean, those
I
are
have
all
seen
selling
that.
for like a couple $100,000 right now.
Wow.
Kind of trends. All the crypto punk stuff. I mean, those.
Those are really big right now too.
So the collections, people, I really think like Steve Aoki has a pretty good spot. That Stoner Cats, have you heard of that?
No.
It's pretty cool. It's like this collection of Stoner Cats, but then what's her name from? There's Ashton Kutcher and what's his wife's name?
Oh, Mila Kunis.
Misha,
Yeah.
They're
investors.
Mila Kunis.
They're investors in it, and they also are characters, and they release these episodes. So basically, you have to have the NFT to watch the episode. Then they had Vitalik from the founder of Ethereum in an episode. So like, pretty cool little play there.
Very
And those will do really
interesting.
well. So,
Wow.
but I really think that kind of that exclusive content play will be pretty big. So yeah, episodes and things like that you're only getting if you hold a NFT.
Everybody's doing that
yeah,
right
dude.
now.
Yeah.
There's that, I guess, and then there's the Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
OnlyFans.
Did you
Yeah,
hear-
they
did you
switched
hear?
up.
I heard.
Yeah.
That's
You
crazy.
hear
Yeah.
about OnlyFans today?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
I did not. I missed it.
We are so sad for all the girls selling their bodies. It's bad.
It's coming to an end.
Well, really?
They're stopping porn on OnlyFans.
No more sexual content.
They just need to switch to all cryptocurrency.
Do you know why?
'cause
Yeah,
the
that's exactly why.
that's-
Because
I
the
mean,
payment
I,
processors
oh my gosh,
are
Yeah.
threatening
I don't
to
personally
pull.
know, but I've heard stories people making lots of money.
Yeah.
Oh
so
my
what's
God.
happening is this. So basically, guys, I'm sure many men are out there clicking on OnlyFans, right? They're
my
subscribing, probably to like 10 profiles. So they're all getting all these subscription fees. They're calling their bank at the end of the month going, what's this OnlyFans charge? Yeah. So then they're like, I've never heard of it. What's that? So get it charged. Then a million other guys do it. So basically what they said was like to please MasterCard, Visa, and all the payment processors, they have to cut out the nudity.
wow.
Because basically a bunch of people were like, that wasn't me. Their wife was like, what's this charge?
Yeah.
Somebody stole my
Yeah.
card.
This is fraud.
And so it just
Yeah.
became such a
Jesus.
problem with all
Wow.
these reversals. So then
Yeah.
I think I don't know if they're
They
going
should
to
have switched to
survive.
full crypto. I know they
That-
accept
yeah.
crypto, so I mean it really fixes that. And that's my whole argument is fuck banks. Like it should just
Oh my
be crypto.
I
gosh.
agree, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Banks are they take so much from you.
They're just ancient. There's no reason for them. Like we can do it all ourselves.
I
Like
know.
you don't need a bank. Oh, they're not doing anything.
Yeah.
They're not.
We can do
They're
it.
just holding our money and
Making
giving it to
money
other
on it.
people.
Yeah.
And making money off them and you.
Dude, they're loaning your money out, making money on it, and charging you at the same time.
And then saying, oh, you're stacking interest on this, and you're like 5 years later, well, I made $5.
Oh, dude.
Off all that
Oh,
money?
yeah. No.
Yeah.
Big
Made $5.
Yeah,
$0
you know.
on
Yeah,
that.
like,
dude.
I have an account. Yeah, I can put USDC, which is US dollar stable coin, makes 6.5% compounded monthly. So
Wow.
compared to what 0.0006
Yeah.
in
no
a
brainer.
bank. Yeah. Why
We're
even
gonna have
keep
to
it in a
chat
bank?
more about that, and
Oh, yeah,
let me
dude.
know where to put my money.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Not financial advice.
No,
but-
no,
yeah,
Not
yeah.
financial, just any trends
Yeah.
you know are coming,
Yeah.
and we'll do a little
Yeah.
insider trading.
No, there's not, I mean, but for sure, like anybody keeping their money in a bank is just. I
Yeah.
mean, you're losing. Well, you're losing your purchasing power keeping it in dollar, and
Right.
But then keeping it in the bank is even worse. So
And do you think that the dollar's going to drop real soon here?
I don't
being
know.
that
Just actually, I pay
inflation
attention
went
to that
up
stuff, and the DXY, which is an indicator for a dollar, just went up today, which is kind of strange because they just keep pumping it up. But at some point, like something can't go up forever.
Yeah. I agree.
But you know the real problem is our purchasing power, right? So what $100 bought you last year does not advise you
Not the
maybe
same.
60% of that.
Yeah.
And so the theft becomes in like the person isn't necessarily making that much more money per an hourly worker, right? And that's
Right.
what it really hurts is that person is making so much more less than they were making a couple of years ago.
Right.
Absolutely.
yeah,
And then
so
do you look at the prices too?
yeah, prices
it's
are
just-
nuts. Yeah.
And the answer they're going to say is, well, raise the minimum wage so that they can
Yeah.
be able to survive. And then all the small business owners are like, whoa,
Yeah.
yeah.
hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
Let's drop the shipping taxes a little. Let's
Yeah,
drop
yeah.
some of
Yeah.
those taxes
Sure.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
these taxes, and
Yeah.
we could drop that cost for us. And
Yeah.
maybe, we'll hire them for more than probably they're worth.
Man, it's a complicated
You know,
problem. Yeah,
it is.
I think the government was kind of in a tricky position. And they had to like give everybody money and
Yeah.
print a bunch of money.
They were
For
back
sure.
against the wall situation.
But something doesn't come from nothing, and we're going to pay for it. And
Yeah.
we're seeing it, and we'll probably see it for a while, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the fact that everybody is majority of the workforce is choosing to stay on unemployment
Yeah.
Yeah.
and not go back to work
Sure.
because they're making more on unemployment than
Sure.
at work.
Yeah, there's no incentive to go
So
to work.
when that gets cut off, we're gonna see something.
Yeah.
We're gonna see something weird, and then when the rent memorandum
yeah.
goes up, we're gonna see something again, and then when the unemployment and when everybody rushes back to get a job, we're gonna see something funny there again.
Yeah,
I
it's
think.
gonna get
The
weird for
unemployment
sure.
Gonna get
still
weird.
I thought they cut it already.
Well,
No,
What's
they
the-
extended.
yeah.
extended? Oh.
Yeah, I think
think
it's
so. Hold on.
No, you can definitely still get unemployment.
Yeah,
Oh.
check that if you can, man.
Yeah. But I do think it's something's bound to break at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely where, like, I mean, I don't have a lot of faith in the dollar, so I just think that assets are the way to go. And
so you're moving more towards crypto.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've been in the space for a long time.
Okay.
So, I mean,
would you say most of your finances are in crypto at this point?
We had some stock last year and we sold it all. Put it in
crypto?
I mean, I'm a Bitcoin maxi basically.
Really?
So,
Okay.
yeah. So I mean, yeah. I mean, we have other cryptos. Well, you know, we've accepted on official. We've accepted cryptocurrency since like 2017, since that last bull run. Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Very
Even
cool.
before it was a different Coinbase. It was like Coinbase something. Then it changed to Coinbase Commerce, and we accepted it on Shopify. And now we use this other company called Coin Payments that accepts like every cryptocurrency under the sun into our Shopify.
And then
Really?
if
That's
you
awesome.
get
Yeah, it's cool.
payment through that crypto source, you can easily convert it into cash and then deposit it into your bank account.
You know, we're a little irresponsible with like the random, like somebody pays in Cardano or XRP or something. I just let it sit, which I probably should sell at the tops or whatever. It's nominal amounts, honestly. But yeah, we hold it. It's funny because we hold a wide range of crypto only because we've accepted the payments, you know.
And the company owns it.
Yeah, the company owns it.
That's really cool.
Yeah, even the company, our treasury is basically all in Bitcoin.
And you're not afraid of the dips? Like, let's say
I zoom out like 10 years from now, that
There's
dip is nothing. That dip is a little dent in a up and to the right line.
But I'm thinking more like for working capital. Let's say
you always got to have your, I mean,
you get paid 25% of your sales for the month were crypto.
Yeah.
And you're looking towards the next month's budget or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you pull that out because you don't know if it's going to drop?
Well, I mean, honestly, we try to not ever sell any Bitcoin particularly. Right. So we don't have anything that would like interfere with that working capital. I mean, that's all treasury savings. But and then personally, I would never. I don't sell.
So you hold them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Smart.
have any. And you know, I mean, like I do believe there's, you know, if you're good at it, you could probably sell at the top and buy a bunch more at the bottom, but it's stressful. And
did your heart,
and you never know if you make the right move.
Did your heart drop when Bitcoin fell this last round?
Yeah, I lost 60% of our net worth. I mean,
Wow.
from that 65 to. I mean, if we're all in and they went 65% down, then we lost 65%.
Yeah.
So now you're just creeping up with it.
It is just a small dent.
Yeah.
When you zoom out, like you said.
Like you said, 10 years.
Small dent. It's true.
Oh, you need to look at it for 10 years. I mean, yeah, you'll be fine. When it's $1 million a coin, what do you care?
That's what they're saying it's going to get to.
Yeah, probably 10 years from now, but you got to.
Slowly,
it's a long roller coaster ride to that point.
So where did it peak before it dropped again? It was
65.
like 65.
Yeah,
and then it dropped back down to 32.
To 20, like 28, 29. That was kind of crazy.
Wow.
Yeah,
that must have palm sweaty crazy right there, man. Damn.
I mean, we're in it for the long run. I feel bad for her because I'm just so committed and convinced. Like I don't even care.
You're risk taking.
And then like once in a while up there, like we don't have like quite as much money as we used to.
But she's still here.
So you're looking at the Bitcoin and say 3.222121, and then you're looking at the dollars and you're like, man, dollars are making more sense. So how much is that, honey?
Yeah.
Convert that for me in dollars so I know what I'm looking at.
Yeah, probably. I mean, she's a really good rider because I'm always just like, we're never selling that. Like our grandkids are having that Bitcoin. Like, because you know, the money play is like, look, don't ever sell it, borrow against it. It's a loan. You're not paying taxes on it, right?
Yeah.
So, just hold it. Yeah.
That's cool. I've actually been holding my Bitcoin for a while.
There you go.
I did not sell it. I bought it a while ago, and I was looking really good before that drop, and I was like showing off to my wife, like, "Hey, check this out!
You got the smartest husband on
earth, dude!" Like 2 weeks later,
we had a party.
We did have a party.
Shit, Dom Perignon and everything.
2 weeks later, she saw me looking at my phone, like. Yeah, babe, that's lower than what I started with. I was winning 2 weeks ago. That's just not fair.
Nah, just hold it. You'll be fine.
Yeah, and then I just held it and I didn't sell. I did sell the Dodge coin though when it was high.
Did you make any money?
I did. I made about $600.
Yeah.
I'm not big into this shit because I don't study it enough.
Yeah.
But I do play around when like a good friend, Dev tells me, hey, check this out.
Yeah.
I'm like, a couple
Man, you need to
$100.
listen to Dev more, actually.
I do. He's very,
Like
very
that,
smart.
bro, that knows his stuff.
Yeah.
He's a homie, lives in San Jose. I've known him all my life, right? So he's just kind of been down on his luck lately, you know, just kind of lives at home, does his thing, right? Nicest guy in the world. So he just gets on that whole GameStop thing, right? But he was on it really early.
Good.
Like he was on the threads, reading everything.
Yeah.
He knew.
Yeah.
He literally, okay, so rewind like a month before that, he got a brand new Tesla that he had been saving for. He paid for it in cash, right?
Wow.
And like he was like,
you said he was
"This
down
is
on his luck.
No,
He's buying-
he is, but he's like living at his mom's house.
Okay.
You know, just broke up with his girl. You know,
Yeah.
but he's been saving. He's like, I want that car, so he gets it. He lets his sister drive it. He's in the passenger seat. He gets T-boned.
Oh,
my
Car
God.
gets completely totaled. So then, you know, he goes through the whole process, gets this chunk of money from the car, right?
Yeah.
But now he has no car. The GameStop thing happens. He's
Yeah.
like,
Wow.
I got this chunk of money, drops it in there,
my
basically
gosh.
a Tesla's worth, and then he rode it all the way up,
Yeah.
sold it, paid off his mom's house in the Bay Area,
Amazing.
bought
That
himself a new Tesla, and still
Damn.
has like 60 grand
Damn.
in
Yeah.
the bank.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
But you know
And
what's
he's just like, fuck, this is great.
Yeah.
So
And you know what's
winner
really
right
cool
there.
about that is it was like a perfect storm for people in that situation,
Yeah.
right? They were at home, like, fuck, what am I gonna do? And spending time on the internet, and they start to learn about this thing really early.
Yeah.
And then they could take advantage of it. So
Crazy.
And
yeah.
that was what, a Reddit feed or
Was it
thread
Reddit?
or
What was the
something?
dude's name? What was the
Reddit
cat guy's name,
He's
though? Deep fucking value.
yeah,
Yeah, that
that's
dude's
it, yep.
amazing.
That's the
Dude,
guy.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fucking nuts, bro.
He's
You
the
go
one
in
who
and you start-
he knew the
From the
value
rich
of
and
AMC.
gave to the poor.
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
he knew the value of AMC, and he just
Dude.
kept like preaching it every day. And then on Reddit, finally started people started to catch on, and then of course the virility of it really made it take off. But
Yeah, I heard a lot of kids lost trust funds.
yeah,
A
Yeah.
lot of
dude.
big
Oh,
money
so many
trust
people.
funds.
I mean, that's the
Dude.
whole play, right? Like, if you don't do it right, you're just gonna be holding
Yeah.
somebody else's bag. That's
Oh,
all there is
that's
to
it.
it.
Much.
Yeah,
And you know,
So fast,
with
too.
Bitcoin, I'm seeing a lot more young kids with money,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
a lot of money.
yeah.
And I'm just thinking, like, man, when I was 22, I didn't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
Like, he better watch out,
Yeah.
or invest it or spend it. And they
Yeah.
are.
That's
Yeah.
like our
The
daughter.
generation now is
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
making that easy, quick money
Sure.
of crypto and
Yeah.
TikToks and YouTubes and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think all the like the altcoins, the DeFi, degens, it's a little more crazy, but and I think it's good for kids to learn that stuff. But I definitely think with Bitcoin, like you're learning about scarcity, how money works, so you're
Yeah.
gonna respect it a little more. I mean, sure, there's some quick money that people have made and probably not respected it as much, but the whole fact that even if it was stocks, right? Young people learning all that stuff. Man, they're learning something that a lot of us didn't learn at a young age.
Absolutely.
So
They
That's
are.
huge.
I mean, our
And
little
they're
ones watch
into
him
it.
and they're
Yeah,
learning.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
and they probably soak
Yeah.
it all in.
Oh,
too.
they do.
They're more
Yeah.
than into it. I'm talking even to the Yeezys, buying and reselling
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Yeezys,
yeah,
the
yeah.
Jordans.
Yeah.
These kids, like in high school, are making G's and saving and then putting into crypto
Yeah.
and tripling it.
Yeah,
And then it's like,
Yeah.
man, the wealth in this country may shift. I think if these kids keep playing good with their money and
Yeah.
things like the AMC and the
Yeah.
GameStop thing keep happening, I mean, they keep saying the middle class is disappearing, but man, I'm seeing younger and younger entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
like the Paul brothers and all
yeah,
these people
yeah.
that are
Yeah.
making so much.
Yeah, and with that money comes power. And I think right now, like even last week with that crypto bill, you had like some senator that like deaded an amendment that would have made it like they're making holding NFTs taxable events and things like that, which is just like ridiculous because
Yeah.
holding just some art is not a taxable
Exactly,
event.
yeah.
So yeah, some senator who's actually retiring at the end of this like deaded the amendment. And dude, there'll be a big push to get younger people in there to understand this stuff because those guys just don't get it.
No,
They
it
don't,
makes no
they're
sense.
outdated.
Yeah.
They're living in an era that
man.
our
It frustrates me.
grandparents,
Yeah, yeah.
our
Yeah.
grandparents
Yeah.
lived in.
Yeah.
And that era was continuously lied to by the government.
Yeah.
Weed is bad.
Yeah.
This is bad.
Yeah, yeah.
We need to do this. We need to do
Yeah,
that. And
yeah.
boy, our grandparents paid to listen
Sure.
to the government as if they were God.
Yeah.
And nowadays,
Yeah.
everybody, our generation,
Yeah, people don't don't trust
Fuck
them.
the
Yeah,
government.
yeah.
You're taxing
Yeah.
me too
Yep.
much.
Yeah.
You're telling me how to live my life.
Yeah. Yep.
Telling me I can't have fruit vape juice. You're
Yeah.
telling me,
Yeah.
like, dude,
Yeah,
these are
yeah.
all
Yeah.
controlling my lifestyle.
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, hey, man, if you don't want kids to do it, start coaching the parents on how to raise their kids and keep an eye on them.
Sure.
And stop taking away the pleasures I like.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm like,
He needs the
everybody's
vape
their
juice.
own man.
Yeah.
Not only the vape
No,
juice,
I
but
know.
Yeah.
there's
But
so
the vape
much.
juice is a big part of
It's
it.
a big part.
You know?
Yeah. Or
Precious,
even
dog.
worse is just trying to come in to like a marketplace and tax it when you don't even understand how it works.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the weed industry.
Yeah, weed industry is a great
That's
case
the
in point.
weed
Yeah,
industry, man.
And then
Yeah.
if they slap another federal tax on it,
God,
eventually,
dude.
Yeah.
no one's ever. It's like it only makes sense to have.
But
black
doesn't that
market.
just incentivize it to go back to the street?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it is already.
It is
It's
already
like
there.
a majority of all the sales
Yeah.
are all black market
Really,
anyway.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
a
like
lot
I
of-
get it, but it's scary because now you're seeing like more and more with drugs on the street.
Yeah.
Even weed, people are putting some questionable things in there. The
Fentanyl.
vape cards,
Wow.
fentanyl. Yeah.
No
I've
way.
seen-
Why would you put fentanyl in weed?
I don't know. We don't know.
Oh
They
my
have-
We don't know.
gosh.
There's a lot of like conspiracy theories behind it, but it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
A lot
yeah.
of it, obviously, the party products do like Coke and
Okay.
stuff. They've been finding a lot of it, but yeah,
People
I've heard
dying.
stories. Oh yeah,
Oh,
big
man.
time.
Immediately.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
a bummer.
crazy because it can happen like
So you're smoking the fentanyl. Is that common though? That or
not
think
in
it's
the, not in the
common.
cannabis, but in the
Cocaine.
cocaine. It's
Oh,
been
and
like
the
there's
cocaine.
a huge
Oh.
uptick.
Oh, yeah,
So
wow.
people will just could do one line and boom, that's it. Because I guess you know
Yeah.
it's only 3 or 4
Sure. Oh, dude, that
grains of
stuff's so
salt
gnarly.
to,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
take
Somebody
the
else.
touch. Yeah.
My nephew was telling me something. He was saying that some people's tolerance is really high for it, and some people's tolerance is extremely low. And it's just Russian roulette or
Yeah,
pulling
sure.
a straw
Yeah.
on who's going to drop dead
Yeah.
taking that line.
Also, the
Oh my
manufacturing of
gosh.
it's
So-
it's not controlled at all. It's like literally done in the jungles. And,
Oh yeah, this
so-
is just like,
yeah,
and
so-
I don't even, and again, I don't know why they're putting it in there. Like, it just doesn't make much sense of why they would want to kill people. But
Right.
anyway, that's some crazy
So,
shit.
but yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up.
Man.
This was
Yeah,
a
this
great
is awesome.
conversation. You are a wealth of information. You as well. I'm
Oh
sure.
my god, I know
But-
you guys
And
have
the
been through
support,
it
yeah, we
all.
have.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah,
been-
you guys have seemed to start from the bottom, hit trends at the very beginning, and really execute. And I commend
That's
you
the
for
truth.
that, and we respect you for that. And thank you so much
Yeah,
for coming on this
man.
podcast.
We
Yeah.
appreciate being here, and yeah, it's a fun story to tell. And honestly, like it's really fun to be able to see other people's journeys and just like learn. Yeah, just I mean, your journey will be different than ours, and so that is
That's
gonna be
the
cool to see.
joy of it.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
everybody's journey is different,
Yeah.
and the experiences we're all gonna have. We're gonna have beers 10 years from now and chat
Yeah.
more about it.
Yeah, totally.
You know?
Yeah, totally.
So,
Yeah. Well,
Vanessa,
cool, guys.
Jason, thank you guys for
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
It was a great show, and we can't wait to have you guys back
Man.
for
Yes.
more information on your NFTs
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
and more information on the Good Box.
Yeah, we'd love to share
So-
both. That'd be
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys, and thank the audience
yeah.
and
Yeah,
the.
Thank you guys.
Please
Thank
make
you guys
sure
back
to
there.
like and subscribe. Give these guys a follow. You guys
Yeah,
have
please.
your Instagram
Yeah,
handles.
Instagram we're at official, so pretty easy.
@official.
Then all
At
good.
all good.
Gxxd for the good.
Perfect.
GXXD.
We'll
and
have
then
it below
good
too.
boxes.
Yeah, we'll throw it on the
Yeah.
bottom.
Be easy.
Like, subscribe, throw in the comments, whatever you guys feel about the episode. We
You.
love you. Peace out. Take
Thank
care.
you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
This shit's insane.